And we are live with Is Your Six Covered and Shaggy.
Shaggy, happy 4th of July to everyone.
Happy 4th of July. Thanks for showing up. It's been fun. It's not even 9 o'clock here, so craziness is going to start happening soon. And in North Carolina, it's almost midnight. And
yeah, it's dying down, finally.
They're running out of fireworks finally?
I think so.
That's good. That's good. We shall see, I guess. Yeah, it's been, they're just starting. It basically just got dark a little bit ago, so everybody's ready to rock and roll.
Now I got some light on my face.
Yeah. So the stuff is going to show up, it sounds like, which is good.
Yeah, it should be here Monday and should have all the stuff from Area 419. And looking forward to it. What's up, Doug B, Mono, Jackson, Kathleen, AR Guns? Happy 4th.
Yeah, happy 4th. Happy Independence Day, everybody. Hopefully you're having fun. Maybe you've already had a bunch of fun.
What's up, Ken? That was an awesome video you put out. I really like that.
That was good.
What was the distance? Like 2 billion yards?
2 billion. Still waiting on that one video, Mr. Kinney.
It says, who here was setting off enough fireworks to have the cops show up? Not me. What's up, Mike D?
For some reason, I can't do it this way. It sucks. Trying to send a mail out. It's not working. I don't have any fun Kathleen music. Yeah, but you can see now, Kathleen, so that's a good thing.
Hey, is Mike D, are you the Mike D out of Charlotte? I'm not sure if he is or not. We'll wait and see what he responds.
Someone you might know? What up, Tim?
I think it's someone I know, but I'm not sure if I recognize the YouTube logo there. What is up, Tim Davis?
Tim Davis.
Alaska One Andy.
Yeah. Alaska One's in the house. Todd Schmidt. Happy 4th, guys. Hope your day was great. My day is stuck at work. But I'm almost done. I got one more day after this one, and bam, now I got to get on a plane. What's up, Kim? What's going on? Hopefully you guys are having fun. You might have already had a bunch of fun, and now you're relaxing for all I know. Carcane. Figured we'd get on here. I was talking to Ray. I tried to get him to start a chat, but for some reason his internet, well, not for some reason. I know why his internet's not great, but so doing it over here, having some fun, seeing what everybody's doing. And just basically waiting for all the crazies tonight. See what happens.
What's up, RTT Guns and Gear? Well, on another note, I was telling Rick that I feel a little bit better. I was able to find some once fired Lapua brass. I was able to get it sized, and so I'll just take what I can take with me in the declared firearms. I know you can take about 5 pounds with you, so I'm going to run like 80 rounds, so I should be able to hit at least 80 targets.
Well, and you sent that other 25 too, didn't you, or 50?
No, so I only sent 200.
Oh, I was thinking you had sent 200 plus you had made an additional like 50 or something.
No, I sent 200 and you have 250. So it is what it is. I did see they were posting some pictures though from the targets, and some of them are those little stupid groundhog targets that are like 5 inches wide, about 10 inches tall. Looks like a skinny Sammy.
Yeah, I was just going to say like a skinny.
Yeah, those are going to be really tough.
Those are going to be tough in the wind, especially if it's howling through.
Yeah, we actually someone was on Wednesday, Conservative Sniper Hunter. Rick flies in on Monday. I actually packed most of my stuff today, just going over everything. So it should be good to go.
Yeah. I get home to midnight on the 6th. I got the 7th to tidy up and pack, get all my stuff ready, and then fly out the 8th. I think we leave the 8th kind of late, right?
Yeah, we do. We leave it like we've got a board at 5 o'clock, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so next Wednesday, we'll be flying out to Denver.
That's when
And I'm going to agree with Kathleen. I think ammo is getting hard to get. I'm hearing a lot of people are hitting me up for powder. I've had a lot of emails about people wanting to know if I would sell them powder, and I'm not a dealer. I don't sell stuff, so I appreciate you checking with me. But no, that's for when things get tough.
Yeah.
Like now.
Like right now when you can't find anything. No, it does suck, especially if people are out of some stuff. But that's like me. I need to get more projectiles. More projectiles. So where was that? Oh yeah, so we had answered that one. Kim.
So I guess the biggest thing I'm looking forward to, unless it doesn't arrive for whatever reason, is I got one of those Psych Pods, the double, so I'll have it, and I need to talk to Kenny anyway because he was trying to look up something for me as well. But I've got the Arca Swiss adapter for the AI, so I'm going to put that on. I don't think that's going to shift my zero at all. I mean, it is kind of bridging the magwell to the end of the handguard, so we'll see. We'll still be able to zero.
Yeah, I was going to say I hope not, but yeah, we still get to zero, and it'll work out good. I got a.
I need to thank you. Apparently, guys, that's here on the board. He actually sent us a hat cam. Because he knows, because they're not going to be able to put us on the same squad. So I had a shipment notification, which I didn't read it all the way. And initially I was like, why would I honestly thought it was the Armory shipping our ammo back to us. And I read the comments, and it said because we couldn't get on the same squad, maybe we could use this hat cam to get some footage. So thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. It'd be good. Yeah, they got a lot of stuff showing up to that. I bet you that gun shop's just got a whole U-Haul full of all the junk from all the shooters.
Yeah. I did go out today and buy another battery, so I have 3 batteries for the GoPro. I brought the double charger system. I don't know how well it'll work for that application, but we'll at least try.
Yeah, it'll be better than nothing. I'm gonna try to bring that tripod because we might be able to use it, especially like after the event or during the event kind of stuff. So it'd be kind of cool too.
He says he forgot to send the micro IS and directions. Uh-oh. I think he's talking about the micro SD card. Micro USB.
Micro, okay. Yeah, that's that little tiny guy. We can pick one of those up somewhere, I think.
Oh, so Tim Davis, this is a great question that he's asking. His question is, if your barrel is free floating, how would the Arca rail mess with your zero? And that's a great question. However, my concern is this: on an AI, you actually have the receiver, and then the full free float handguard, or the floating handguard, goes on top of it. And something as simple as changing the torque on your action screws can change your zero on a bolt gun, believe it or not. Okay, just the slightest bit of torque will change it. And the way this really right stuff Arca rail works, it actually bridges to the receiver to the handguard, so it shouldn't affect anything, but you don't know. So that's what my question is.
We're gonna find out soon enough.
Right. That's right.
What do you call it? Enough negatives. What's that saying you do?
Oh,
it's like with that
enough errors will cancel.
Yeah, enough errors will cancel, exactly. So we shall see. That'll be nice. And then I got a little Arca Swiss rail for the Tikka, little barricade stop, and then hopefully, I think with the Borka kit, I should be able just to put my bipod on there, mount it on there. I would assume. Unless there's some piece I need that I don't know of.
No. As long as you have your Atlas, you should be able to integrate the Arca Swiss on top of the Atlas with the barricade stop. And then if for whatever reason the Psych Pod doesn't arrive, then I'm going to run the Thunder Beast just for the mere fact that it's got leg extensions, and I don't have leg extensions for the Atlas. So.
Good idea. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that one. I haven't used it enough though. The Thunder Beast bipod.
Yeah.
It looks nice, but I haven't used it enough to go either way. I think what's going to help us a lot is just being able to slide that bipod, really close to the magwell on some stages if we need it.
All right. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll definitely take a little micro. I will have a micro cord to be able to charge it with. As long as we can get some, instructions, that should be pretty good.
Awesome. Yeah, that'd be cool.
So Mike D says, if you need to replace your LWRC with a direct impingement 10.5 to fit the same roll, minus can and full auto, would you run a fixed, overgassed, or adjustable gas blocks for max reliability? I always go fixed. I don't run a lot of adjustable gas blocks. I know it'll be overgassed. Look, I get it, but
It'll work.
reliability. I've just seen way too many adjustable gas blocks go down at the wrong time. Would it be better to tune spring and buffer weight instead of gas system to keep the best reliability? So that's a great follow-up question, because that's actually what I do. What I do is I run full gas, and then I use the JP Silent Capture spring in almost every single platform that I have that's AR. And then what I do is just change the spring weights out just to make it a little bit softer to compensate for the overgassing.
Yeah. And I'm still, you know what, I still have not gotten one of those. I really need to.
Yeah, it works really well. I will tell you, they're a little bit of a pain on the LWRC, LWRC, the 6.5 Creedmoor. I had to actually machine a Delrin spacer in the back of it for the stock, the one that was provided by JP, and then not using it wasn't filling up the space enough, so I was able to measure it out, and it runs perfectly.
So there was an issue if you didn't have that piece that you made.
Yeah, if you don't have the ability to be able to machine something or 3D print something, it actually goes in a little too deep into the buffer itself. And so, some guys, I think they use like washers or quarters or something like that inside of there to take up that space. But I'd rather have one solid machine piece than have that. So that is nice, and plus you have one anyway. So because they give you one in it.
Yeah, and Kathleen wants to know if you have gas, should you avoid other shooters?
Yeah, well, absolutely.
If you're overgassed, you really need to check the drawers. You know what I'm saying? Happy 4th of July. 3D print, I can help. Yeah, Eagle Eye's got the machine for that. Yeah, we got quite a few things showing up there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so Armament and Axis says, to me, it means right amount of gas for the situation. Adjustable gas block might come in handy. And I get that if you're going from suppressed to not suppressed. But, I mean, for me, if I'm setting up a platform to run a suppressor, I will typically I was able to pick up some of these before they became unobtainium. But, the suppressor bolts where you can go, suppressed or unsuppressed, and it adjusts the gas within the carrier system itself. I run that. It's just, man, I've got a lot of the Cirax and all of that. But, man, I'll tell you what, I've just seen so many adjustable gas blocks go down. And then the other issue is with that is when you get into tuning, you got to be careful, because, like, for some of these competitions where you might go from 55 grain, and I know even Rick did this. We all did this at Nationals. We'll shoot junk ammo at paper, which is a 55 grain, but then we might shoot a 77 or whatever at longer distance. Make sure you're testing and tuning both of those, because, I've seen a lot of, matter of fact, that happened with, wasn't the same situation, but that happened with Rob.
Yeah.
His wouldn't shoot that 55 grain ammo. It was just too underpowered.
Yeah, it was the Remington white and green box.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're going to do that, just make sure you're testing your ammo. Make sure it's good to go.
Yeah, that was frustrating, because that stage, his first stage where he had to use his AR.
Yeah.
He basically had a bolt gun.
Yep.
which obviously is frustrating. What is the match? The match is the Hornady. Isn't it the Hornady Precision Challenge or something?
It is. It's the Hornady Precision Rifle Challenge. This is the second one they've ever done. Let me get back to that. Let me answer what DW is saying. Okay, so DW, because I don't want to forget this, I watched a video to adjust the gas block on a 300 blackout suppressed. Just put one round in the mag and adjust till the bolt locks back. I do want to caution you on that, DW. Okay, and the reason I'm cautioning you on this is as your gun gets dirty, which if you do a lot of suppressed work, which I can tell you about that, your gun is going to build up a lot of fouling. And so just to the point where it locks back is not going to be enough. Okay, it might be enough for the first couple rounds, but as that gun gets dirty, as the oil starts to, get absorbed by all the carbon and everything else, then you're going to start getting the short stroking. Another thing as well is you need to be careful with going it to where it just locks back, because sometimes you can get a false lock back and it's not going all the way to the bolt catch. So always overgas it just a little bit more than that if you're going to do it. Eagle Eye says I'd recommend overgas. More reliable on a dirty gun. Absolutely. Yeah, that was a good question, by the way.
Well, that was the one thing you talked about with the adjustable ones. I don't know if you said it while I was gone. Is basically there's that little piece in there to adjust it, right? And that keeps getting dirty. Did you talk about that?
Well, yeah, because so guys, if you take a gas block off, or even if you look at a, there's a lot of gas going through your hole in your barrel, but over time that does build up with carbon, and if you get it right to that edge, the problem is going to happen is it's going to start closing off by itself. I mean, it takes a while. Okay, it's no different than a regular direct impingement, just a regular gas block that's not adjustable. But yeah, they'll build up carbon in there. Typically it'll blow a lot of that out, but over a long time it will. I always run over gassed.
I wonder if this match is going to have, I can't remember the name of that. There's a company that basically does a lot of video footage of it. Be kind of cool to see if they're out there.
Yeah. Conservative sniper hunter, just for me personally, I've always run the JP Silent Capture spring. You don't hear any twanging noise in the stock. They work. They work well. That's my personal preference.
Yeah, and I run just basically, depending on what, like my last one is that SIG carbon fiber one, and the kit that came with it is just basically a mil-spec buffer tube and buffer, so spring. But I've been using it for quite a few years, and it doesn't bother me. It's always worked well, but the one that Ray uses is a little nicer for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So what Mike D is talking about, these are some good questions tonight, because he's talking about getting bolt bounce, and basically what it is you're so over gas that it's just slamming that bolt carrier back. I mean, you're kind of beating up your equipment, but it's slamming it back so hard that it returns so quickly that it doesn't lock open on the last round. I don't know. I've got some guns that are shorter than 10.5, and I have no issues with that. Even running them with a adjustable gas block. So I guess you could. I guess it just depends on the components and everything else. But that's running on machine guns and everything else. I don't have any issues with it. And yeah, Tim Davis, that twangy noise from the buffer spring drives me nuts. I haven't had to deal with that ever since they came out with a silent capture spring.
Still not as bad as that RPR that you had till we fixed it. That remember the firing pin would go bing right in your ear?
Oh, yeah, when I first bought the RPR, yeah, that thing made so much dang noise. I don't like a gun.
That was annoying.
Funky little noises like that.
Shoots good, though.
Yeah, and so he says, right, it's the Hornady Precision Rifle Series Challenge. The hotel is in Evanston, Wyoming, but the match is actually, I think, in Woodruff or something, Utah. I don't even know the name of the town.
I don't even know if it is a town. What's up, LW?
Armament and Axes. I actually knew the guys over at Rise Armament. Actually, I shot nationals in Oklahoma out there, and I think they're based in that area. I've got some friends that actually shoot a lot of their equipment. Garrett Grover is a good friend, and Paul Hughes shoots out that way. And they introduced me to Rise, but I have not had a chance to try their triggers.
Nice guy, LWR, William Nah. The
I've never echo.
What triggers we got? The blue and the red one. What are those?
Velocity Triggers just sent us, and big shout out to those guys. They just sent us out 2 Remington 700 Velocity Triggers. I went with the red trigger, straight face. Rick went with the blue one, and those will be going in the builds that we've got coming. So I'm glad Ken's on here because he can hear that, because we actually talked about this the other day.
Yeah, I got to figure out. I wonder if I need to get a hold of Ken and see if they ever figured out. Now that it's 4th of July weekend, I'm sure nothing showed up. So
yeah,
still trying to figure out if I should go with that tonight or not. Well, I have a Smith & Wesson M&P Sport with a twangy spring. Drives my batshit crazy. It is. It's for something so simple. It's like a piece of just a tiny, tiny granule of sand in between your teeth or something stuck in there. It's just annoying is what it is. Just you're like, "Argh."
All right. So Mike D asked a good question, but I'm not following. He says, did you ever test your R² K9 on a pistol with a slide lock device? I don't know what a slide lock device is, unless he's any surprising results, like how the Kurz configuration is quieter than full size. It is only quieter in the Kurz configuration wet, and substantially quieter. We're talking 40 to 41 decibels of reduction in the short configuration wet, as opposed to the long configuration wet. Dry, the longer one, is quieter.
Yeah, that thing is an amazing suppressor. I've had a chance to put lots of rounds downrange with that thing.
Yes, you have.
And it's flipping amazing. I must say. Yeah,
I know that as of Friday, we signed on a bunch of dealers. Some of the dealers were ordering 6 and 7 at a time, but like I said, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We're still in the early phases of getting people signed on and getting all the paperwork necessary from those guys.
Did Scott sign up?
He will be. He's been on vacation.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, Conservative Sniper Hunter. I know KB32 did a review on that CMMG Endeavor 300. He used it on a 16-inch. He was impressed. I mean, I've been talking to him every day. We actually did some ballistics numbers yesterday, comparing some data. I think he's got another video coming out on that, comparing it like a 308 or something. But yeah, I was supposed to have something in the works with CMMG. I'm not going to say it fell through, but what I was told, hey, we're on a public forum, no big deal. It's what they told me. What I was told was that my channel might be a little too much precision oriented for that, whatever that crap that means. Yeah, I don't know.
That's actually a bad thing when a rifle company says no, we don't want to send it to you because you actually shoot precision. That could be a sign for uh-oh.
Well, I don't. I mean, I go out and I have a good time with it. You know, the thing is, I said, look, you know, if you send me a 6.5 Creedmoor or something like that, will it hold 1 minute or better? And I said, no, none of this. Yeah, you can shoot a 3-shot group, and every once in a while you get a 1 minute of angle. Will they hold 1 minute of angle? And he couldn't really answer the question. And I'm not bad mouthing him. I'm just telling you why, you know, this occurred. So we'll see what happens. You know, I've got an F1 coming in 6.5 Creedmoor. Will actually be here probably Monday or Tuesday. I almost thought about doing gas gun division for this PRS and using that, but there's just not enough time. There's just not enough time.
Did you get my email with the name and the zip code?
Yes, I did. That was forwarded, so he should be good to go.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if he's ordered the Borker kit or not, but I wanted to give you the heads up or ask you if you got it.
Is it totally silent? No, it's not totally silent. There's no suppressor or silencer that's going to be totally silent. The best thing, yeah, silencer, suppressor, um, whatever you want to call it. I can tell you that it's going to be equivalent to slightly louder than a suppressed 22. I don't know what all experience you've had with a 22 suppressed or anything like that, but it's insanely quiet.
I can tell you
So,
that.
what's
Jared
that?
said, "Oh my gosh, this thing is quiet." We actually took it to Iraq Veteran 8888 and did like the first little demo, kind of just a flash like show.
Yeah, it was the first time it was ever shot in public. Yeah,
and we were actually in the suppressor bays of the shooting range, and there wasn't anything that was touching it even close to it. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I follow you now, Mike D. No, we haven't done that, but I've done everything from putting it on bolt guns to 22s to 380s, and it is extremely quiet where you're not getting that gas escape from the slide racking. Okay, so what people don't realize, if you're using real sound equipment, stuff that's stupid expensive, just racking the bolt on like a 22 or racking an AR bolt is, I think it's like 120, 130 decibels, something like that. So yeah, I mean, it's insanely quiet. It really is. But it's one of those you just have to hopefully find some place that can give you a demo of it or something.
Actually, Kenny shot it too. Yeah, he's saying he was there. I forgot the DW. I don't understand this question. Maybe you understand.
Okay, so he says, how far basically can he shoot a 308 with a 20-inch barrel or up to a 26-inch? I don't know. I don't really understand. I kind of understand what he's saying. I know that back in the day, I was playing with a lot of 16-inch barrel 308s, and we were able to get hits regularly. Okay, not like 1 in 10, but I'm talking about pretty much every shot once you got your wind hold. With 16-inch barrel 308s, we were going out to 1,000 with it. You're definitely going to be subsonic. Or I'm not going to say definitely. You're probably going to be subsonic, depending on how you're loading it and what bullet. But yeah, velocity's king. I'll always say that.
I've heard that a few times. +5. I put a thing on there. I was wondering when you're going to post that video. I was looking for it. Never saw it.
Oh yeah, Mark T says he was sorry. He was referring to the silent capture spring. Yeah, for all intent and purposes, it is silent. It really is. When you work it, all you really hear is just the bolt just sliding rearwards. You don't hear any twanging or anything like that. It's really nice.
They are actually really nice. I know Coda Boy uses them, and I think Rob does as well.
Yeah, Ken, I appreciate that. Yeah, Eagle Eye actually had a chance to shoot it, just like Rick said, and it is quiet. It really is.
Yeah. I would tell Ray if it sucked, and it doesn't suck. It's good.
We'll see you 45 Auto. Have a good one.
Have a good night, buddy. Gotta hit the sack. Oh, I haven't heard any.
+5. How you doing?
It's doing good. You ready to jump on here, +5?
He says, I don't know about getting on with these two knuckleheads.
Yeah, wouldn't be the first time I've heard somebody say that. Had to drive to high desert to pick up my latest custom rifle build. I was talking about, gotta make a video on that too. Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's got a nice rifle coming, actually. Actually, I got his text after the chat. Here is his, this is what I was talking about. So his, let me get this out here. What the hell?
Property of Death Squad. Yeah, I think he goes by that on Instagram, doesn't he? Isn't that his
maybe?
handle?
Yeah, that might be. I think it is his handle. Get him on there. Yeah, let's see. Text me if you want to jump on there, Reagan. Cool. I'm driving. Be home in 20 minutes. Then that'd be game. Well, let's see if we'll roll for 20 minutes. I'm I would assume so.
You couldn't hit a 1 foot by 1 foot with AR at 1,000, but we did it several times. So, yeah, I mean, 1 foot by 1 foot. I know I can take rifle. Well, Rick knows this. That Black Beauty rifle, the one that I shot out to a mile. I know at 1,000 yards at Clinton House, they have 10 by 10 steels at 1,000, and if you take 10 shots at it, you're probably going to hit it 7 or 8 times, depending on wind. It is a solid setup, but it only likes the Black Hills 77, and I can't get anything to reproduce that velocity. I mean, I've tried XBR and everything else, and you'll just start getting into pressure signs too quickly. Rick, Ray, and Reagan are cubed.
Yeah, I was thinking that. And then I was thinking, wait, can't be a cube, but I don't know how that works, so I'm not very
It's
smart.
cubed. It's 3. Cubed is 3. Don't think of a 4-sided cube.
That's what I was thinking. 4-sided cube. Ain't never seen a 3-sided cube. Because I call it.
Well, 2 is square either, Rick.
2 is square. 2 times 2.
Gotcha.
What do you guys do on Independence Day? I'm waiting at the fire station for, man, there was like right at lunchtime today, there was all over the county. The county was going nuts. There was shit burning everywhere. And there were small fires that they got out, but we had aircraft flying from here to there, back to here to there. It was nuts for like 2 hours from people screwing around with fireworks. You can't play with fireworks around here, man. The shit catches on fire too easy. Don't play with fireworks. And right now I can hear them popping in the, basically outside. So
yeah, Mike D says that Small Arms Solutions just did a great video on the Mark 262 round. It's very informative. Yeah, I would have liked to have caught that because people try to replicate that round, and I don't know what kind of magic voodoo they're doing up there in Black Hills, but they got a winner there.
I got something figured out.
It works well.
It's crazy how much velocity they can get out of that without, making the cartridge bigger.
Bless you, Mr. COVID.
I was trying to find the button fast enough, but I couldn't do it. I apologize if I blew they had earphones in. Death Squad is my cars and guns. IG +5 is my main.
Yeah, Armament and Axis, he's still in Cali. He doesn't come back in until Monday night, really late.
Yeah, I'll be back midnight on the 6th. Oh, plus I got the 2-hour Charlotte drive. Shit. Awesome. Let's see. 5.56 Palmetto. I built Minuteman, 18-inch Faxon barrel, rifle length. Give it to his son. That's cool. DW, way to hook them up. Idiots are blowing up cherry bombs way loud 4th of July. You know what's even worse, though, is when they're out shooting rifles in the air. That happens a lot around here. The cops will hide under the overpasses, especially like in LA and some of the bigger cities.
Yeah, because it's going to come down somewhere.
Yeah, it comes down, and unfortunately, it goes through people's roofs, and sometimes they get hurt or killed. Well, not sometimes. Usually every year it happens. It's it's unfortunate that people can't have fun without being idiots.
Yeah, they canceled every fireworks show around here.
Really?
There were none. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of places before the great Gavin Newsom decided to shut it down back to whatever level, make it worse, basically. Yeah. There was a lot of places that weren't going to do fireworks anyways, just to keep people from, a bit large groups. But there was a couple. There's Menifee and a couple others, and then those ones shut down. So not much going on. I wouldn't want to be in the pyrotechnic business right now because, they lost a ton of money.
Yeah, for sure.
Because those fireworks shows are expensive.
Yes, they are.
So they did. I'm sure they lost a ton of money, which sucks. Rick, are you going to spread the coronavirus throughout the station? They better send you home fast. LOL. Yeah, trust me, we got to take our temperatures every morning. And then if I go to another station, I got to take my temperature again and log it in. And that's not a big deal, but wearing that stupid mask is, I don't know. I do not like it. You know, I'm not claustrophobic or anything, but I hate wearing that stupid ass mask. It sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah, that's the way I felt at the casino last night. You know, they take the temp and everything else, and they give you the mask. And I don't know, we were there a few hours, and it was like, good gracious, I'm gonna just get this mask off my face.
Well, what kind of sucks depending on which one you got, because I got like 3 or 4 of them here. There's one I have. Actually, it's right here. So this one. So it's basically just fabric, like t-shirt fabric, but it's like probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 thick. So it gets hotter than hell when all that heat stays right by your face. And then it's already hot outside, so it's no fun.
Dang, conservative sniper hunter, they banned fireworks in Australia like 20 years ago because he lost his eye by clowning around. Geez, I didn't know. I mean, I knew Australia was regulated with the guns and stuff like that, but holy crud, banning fireworks, everything else.
Wow. See, it takes more than one loss of an eyeball for that around here.
You can't fix stupid.
Actually, stupid gets fixed quite a bit.
Yeah, but you can't fix it. You don't have to change the whole world for everybody else. I mean,
no, but they usually fix stupid because the stupid ones are the ones in the back of the ambulance that don't make it most of the time. You know what I mean? They kind of just fix themselves, per se, unfortunately.
That's what we call a self-correcting error.
Yeah, exactly.
Survival of the fittest.
Let's see, 38 people and 16 likes. William says, what the hell? I got to agree with him. Let's see, those masks are useless, according to Good Morning America.
Australia is written by Karens, the Darwin Award.
Yeah, and then I've heard, the Darwin Award. These will basically, and I don't know how true this is, so don't just take it at what I've heard, not actual information, but the oxygen that you're breathing in here and recycling through, it can get kind of low or it gets unsafe per se. I don't know how true that is, but basically you're breathing.
Yeah, it lowers your saturation. Right.
Yeah, so it's like, and then all of a sudden you're getting headaches or you're this or that, depending on what symptoms you're getting from it. But I don't know. The little thin blue one is that one's not as bad as this one, but this thing is just too thick. I guess it was nice. I mean, they gave them to us and all, but it's too damn thick. What's the saying? If my jeans can't stop a fart, what's the mask doing? I heard that. That's pretty funny. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get McKinney on here. Looks like X-rings. Oh, never mind. I got an idea what that is all about. Let's see. I wear a plastic bag over my head, but damn hard to breathe.
Buffering on me.
What's that?
I don't think it takes as much bandwidth when I turn the. I said I don't think it takes up as much bandwidth, whatever, whenever I turn the camera on.
I think
when I turn this on, you start lagging.
Oh, really? Yeah, and I've heard that
you're already lagging. So, camera off.
It can't be me though. I don't think it could be me. What's up, Rodder 204?
What's up, Rodder?
Yeah, Kathleen, if you're gonna wear a plastic bag, make sure it's not the darker ones. Make sure it's clear so you can at least walk while you're walking to the store. But it's damn hard to breathe. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm hoping that the stages are pretty close, right? Where it's like 50 feet apart on some of them. So it'll be kind of cool. I might be able to, depending on if you're shooting up next, and I got a bunch to go. And I don't think you have to reset any targets, so that's kind of a bonus, right? Because everything's steel.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Damascus hiding, who let out the fart? Yeah, that's another thing too about
Yeah,
how
'cause we're essentially we're running like 10 or 11 stages a day, I think.
Yeah, and I think it sounded like they wanted to kind of push that number on the first day so we can basically be done by the second day and then do all the ceremony award stuff. So we'll find out. I was trying to find those emails when I was trying to answer Kathleen's thing about what competition it was, but I couldn't find the email fast enough.
I'm right here, but the thing is, when I turn my camera on, he buffers on my end more. So I'm flipping it off so I can still hear and read the comments.
Oh, I got you. Let's see if I can do this. This might work. There we go.
I think I might have a bear. Hold on a second.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go see the wild bear. They mentioned they're up in the 230-mile walk. Yeah, they did. He saw there is going to be a little hike up to from the parking area. So we'll see what happens. I don't think it won't be bad though. 2/3 of a mile. We are going to have a lot of crap to carry though, but it'll be fun. Get exercise. Lord knows I could use it. I heard you might be asked to help the RO spot and score. Yeah, that could be the case too. I don't know. We'll find out. I have seen that in the past though. Let's see. Australia has a penal call. I wear the white ones. No wonder I keep bumping into stuff. Yeah, you got to get those clear bags if you're going to do that. He's having a bear. There might be a bear at Ray's house. We shall see. Kenny, I had texted you as well if you're still out there. What's up, Abigail? Boy from British got their ass kicked out everywhere, huh? What a bigger privilege. The Smokey the Bear don't shoot. Yep, old Smokey the Bear's out there getting into Ray's trash, I think. Was Smokey Bear out there?
No, but whatever it was making a racket and a half.
It's probably some crazy raccoon running around or something.
No. This thing was big, whatever it was.
Oh. Maybe it's that turkey that likes talking to you all night long.
Yeah, exactly.
Right before dark. I bet you.
Yeah, so before I stepped off the porch here, I heard you guys talking about the 2-mile walk. I'm not so much worried about that, but carrying all the gear and the ammo and everything else. I'm going to take my Everly back, so I'll have it. I'll put all my gear in there. They didn't say anything about water or if they're going to have water on each of the stages. So do we pack our own water? What are we doing now?
I think we'll know a lot more Friday when we go to sight everything in, zeroed in. We can ask all the silly questions. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I need to remember to grab a sling when I get home. I need to pack a sling for that rifle because if not, it's going to suck. So I just got to remember to put that down.
Yeah.
And then other than that, I think we got everything already at your house. Oh, and if that stuff shows up Monday, right? You said Monday? Oh, that'll be the 6th.
Yep.
Yeah, so that'll be good. Hopefully it shows up. Oh, we still got the 7th even if
it shows up, I can go ahead and mount the ARCA rail and go ahead and get the bipod all set up and at least have it kind of ready. because we're going to pretty much hit the ground running on Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah, because we got to go. We got to go get all the boxes from that gun store, which is all our ammo and all the other junk, and then
Yep.
Hotel
Straight
room
to the range.
and all that stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. I can't wait to see how the Tika does. What is Ray doing? Poking bears in the woods again? Bought my first stock. Well, partial stock.
Yeah, we got a lot of wildlife up here.
What'd you get, Abigail? Let us know. What's up, Black Sheep Dog? My dogs are tripping tonight. Oh, yeah. A lot of animals hate the fireworks. Horses, too. We have not as many around here anymore, but, man, the horses, they do not like that stuff, most of them.
So, DW, this is a good question. I don't know where you're located or anything like that, but I know that like in May they opened it up for 7 stars only, and that was from like May 15th to like the 30th. Yeah, and then they opened up to everybody. It was like June 1st or 2nd. So yeah, anybody can get in. You don't have to have a rewards card.
Yeah, and here you don't need a rewards card to get in, but you do have to go through a facial scanner that takes your temperature. And not only does it take your temperature, folks, so if you're banned from a casino, it pops up on the computer, and
Yeah, with the facial recognition.
yep, and you'll get sent right out the front doors that you just came in. So they do the temperature, they give you a mask, and then usually, at least here anyways, like every other machine is closed, so you're kind of spacing yourself out more. And some of the stuff like you would normally be able to play, like blackjack. Actually, I can't remember if you could touch or not, but they have like these plastic. I'm sure you've seen them, like sneeze shields now.
Yeah.
And less people are allowed to play at the table.
Yeah, they allow 3 to a table here. And like you said, every other slot machine or every 2 slot machines are turned off. And what else? Oh, I about got into it last night with a dude, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But
You just trying to take your machine, Ray?
yeah, here I am sitting there playing it. I stopped for just a minute, take a drink of Diet Pepsi because they don't have Coke over there. And the guy was like, "You gonna play that machine or what?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm playing the machine. I got credits in here. Looks like you're just sitting there to me." And I don't know if he had too much to drink or whatever. Oh, he was about ready to get it on. He didn't know I had Lurch on the other side. I had somebody else on the other side. I mean, it would have been ugly, but I mean, this is like the dude was, "Look, just go on. I told you I'm playing the thing. Quit running your mouth." He kept running his mouth. And anyway, that was that.
Oh, Smoky Mountain Boys is calling me Pretty Ricky. What the hell's that? What's up with that, Casey? You been drinking too much or what?
You remember that song, Pretty Ricky? Or the artist?
Nope.
Pistol shooters have to attend the range 6 times a year to comply with regulations. We are not permitted to own any firearm for personal self-defense. Dang.
Man, that's horrible.
Do you think there will be a buying slowdown for a couple months before the rush picks up? I don't know. I don't know if it will be or not.
Well, there was that little hiccup there for a while where it slowed down, but I think it's almost going to get worse again because of all this crap going on.
Yeah, I think components are going to start getting hard to get. We're already seeing that with the powder. I mean, yeah, like I said, a lot of people, and then I've got some buddies up in Illinois that called, and they can't get any 5.56 up there whatsoever.
Who called?
Some friends I have up in Illinois.
Oh, Defender's like 500 or 500,000 rounds behind schedule, right?
Yep.
Man, that is amazing. And that's just one small company compared to some of the bigger ones like Hornady and stuff. I'm sure they're behind as well.
Did y'all see my law breaking comment? I didn't see it. I just wish we had the audio.
Oh, to play for that song, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, Monday. Yeah, the 6th. I'll be home Monday. Monday.
And he got a 17 HMR. He's working on a crow killer. Shot one at 200 yards today. That's pretty awesome.
That is good.
Yeah, actually, the Vogel trigger. Rick, you had a Vogel trigger. Yes, on your Glock.
No, I had the pyramids.
No, you had a Bob Vogel on one of. You had a Vogel on one of them, I think. Didn't you?
No, it's probably Yang. No, because
Yeah,
I've
maybe
always
so.
got the pyramid triggers from because Glock stores in California, so I always pick one of those up before I flew out.
Gotcha.
Really think it will be steady panic buying all the way through the election.
I don't know how much of it is panic buying or if it's. I mean, there are a lot of people, and this is not just, me just talking out of my butt. There are a lot of people that are buying ARs for the first time just because they see how things are going. I mean, everything from bankers. I mean, people have been. Rick, you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then had another one call me yesterday and got him squared away with one. A lot of people are buying their first ARs ever, and we're not just talking about ARs, we're talking about guns in general. But yeah, I mean, I think it'll still continue. I don't know if it's so much about the election as much as it is just the unrest people are seeing. It's making people nervous. A lot of new shooters.
There is. There's actually there's two guys that work here that finally went out and bought a pistol. So, which is pretty damn amazing. I was like, wow, you guys bought a pistol. Usually everybody, asks me questions on stuff and I'm like, no, wow, that's pretty cool. So they've been out shopping here as well. So I think everybody's kind of figuring out things. What's
Yeah.
what did you buy for under $2,000? Todd asked.
I would heavily consider like a Night Force SHV. It's good glass, tracks well, and you're going to be well under that $2,000 price point. If you're wanting to get up to it, you can find the Vortex Razor HDs. I know the MSRP is higher, but you can usually find those for less than 2,000, like the 4.5 to 27. What else? Primary Arms, the Platinum.
Platinum series, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it would be a pretty good one.
We'll find out next week. We're going to be trying out the Platinum series. I'll have an excuse if I just completely suck ass at it. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I should have ran that other scope. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, Abigail knows this for sure. The SHV is 1,300, and it's a great optic. They have the first focal. They have the 3 to 18 and then the 4 to 16 or something like that. Actually won one of those, shot it, used it, loved it. I mean, it was a great optic. As a matter of fact, Sergio ended up, I think, getting that one from me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sergio's got a scope I wish I could have. Or not
Yeah.
have, but buy. And then I looked and they didn't have any for sale. They're out of stock. So I was like, damn it. Let's see, 3 million background checks. Yeah, there you go. He saw. We've been breaking records for the last few months on background checks, so it's pretty crazy. The problem is they're getting stuff that nobody bought. So, like in California, you have the roster, and the roster's. Uh-oh. Let me turn this off. Go ahead and talk because I got to hear this call.
All right. Abigail says I also kind of want Schmidt and Bender. I ran a Schmidt and Bender for quite a while, and the older ones, I swear by them. They're a good thing. They're great scopes. They are quite expensive now, and I had bad luck with the last two that I purchased, and they were higher end units, actually the SOCOM units, and I was a little disappointed in what I got. Let's see what else here. It says stock up now because during and after the election on the news in Australia, this week's journalist said it was disturbing that so many Americans have bought firearms in the past 5 months. I don't know if it's disturbing. I think it's just people being ready. All right, +5 says he's home, but Rick has got to come back and get you on that. Can't hear you, Rick.
Text me or email.
Abigail, I guess you can get some for around 3,000. Some of their higher units are going to bring somewhere around 5. Unless they've had a huge price cut. I'm supposed to be getting one of the Leicas as well, the Leica PRS scope. The guys over at Leica, I've been talking to those guys, and they were going to get me one to shoot this match, but I was like, you know what? I really don't want to be shooting a match with I don't think there's anything wrong with the optic, and it was built specifically for PRS, but I don't think I want to do that before the match. So hopefully we can get one of those soon. I saw one at my local gun store for round 3. Yeah, I don't know which model you were looking at. There are a lot of different models of the Schmitz. And yeah, comment. Don't know exactly which. Did I mention it keeps us free? Yes, it does. Just heard a bear in the woods. Yeah, there's one that's been loafing around here, and he's very proud of himself. He's not stealthy at all. I don't know where Rick went.
I had to do a couple things. And to mute the radio and a couple others.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I can now. Say it again.
Oh, I had
Yeah,
I had to mute the radios and a couple other things. Let's see here. Okay, let me figure this out. I tried to send an email and it took me off the thing, and I was like, oh crap. All right, so let's see, how do I do this?
Todd Schmidt says he'd like to buy something made in America. You know, Leupold makes that Mark V is a great optic. You know, the Mark VI is good. If we're talking about optics, you'd probably tame the bear and keep it as a pet. That is all you.
Yeah, that'd be a video. as Ray stalks the bear. Let's see. Oh, there we go. It popped up. Sweet. Almost done here. Almost done. All right, sent.
I had to put out a fire in the bathroom.
No, I just had to mute all the radios. What happens is it activates the tones, and then after that it says the location and type of call. But it's just so obnoxious that ain't nobody want to listen to that.
Yeah.
You guys probably might, I don't know, but I don't want to listen to it. So it was an abdominal pain, so the engine crew went to it. And just it's probably some lady not feeling well from too many shots or something. Shots. Let's see.
What shooting bags are you taking to the match? That's a great question, Conservative Sniper. What I shipped out there was an Armageddon Gear Game Changer, and then 3 of the Sandstock gear bags. I think one of the most important ones for this match is going to be the pump pillow, which is the big one that goes up under your arm that kind of fills in voids. But the Area 419, I got the rail changer, and so I'm hoping that works. What is up?
What's going on?
What's up, gentlemen?
How are you?
How are you doing?
Happy 4th of July, my friend.
Yeah, happy 4th.
It's been fun. Did you have fun today? Hanging
Yeah,
out with the
we, went out with the family and took them to the park, and then they had like a fireworks show or whatever. And the little one, he's like 3. He was having a bunch of fun, and then all of a sudden he just starts crying, and we're just like, maybe it's sleepy time or something, you know. And it was kind of weird. It was like he was enjoying it, and then all of a sudden he went to seem to be upset for what I don't know, you know, tell you the truth. Maybe just being a 3-year-old, but
Yep, got over it. Got over it quickly.
I know I can't show my new rifle on the chat, but I can show a bunch of boxes for stuff.
Yeah, what'd you get?
You know,
Just
well,
show
again,
some parts.
this is where the break came in, right here.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be running. Hellfire.
Got this. It's one of their Arca rails.
Can you show? Can you?
It's already attached.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm staring at the rifle. It's on the bottom of the rifle.
Just show some parts and you'll be fine.
Oh yeah, let me show that. Remember that tripod I was talking to you about that I was telling you about?
Oh, you sure you want to show that off already?
I don't know if you think. Should I not? Should it be secret?
You might want to hold off on that.
Yeah, I might have to, huh?
Yeah.
Did you get the SkyPod?
No, he's got something completely different. What the hell happened? Oh, he hopefully he comes back. No, he's got a. I don't want to say actually. He's got an idea for. He doesn't have an idea. He already has it done. There he is. He has an idea. So
M-Lock. It's not like an M-Lock leg mount system, is it?
No, it's not.
I think I have a feel. I think I can. No, it's Arca mount, but
You can probably show parts. Just put it up close so they don't know what it is. They're probably listening to me right now. Who cares? YouTube sucks ass.
Have you seen
this? I'm going to show this because I know you can't really tell if this is what it is exactly completely, because I'm not going to put the whole thing in there. But this is the 419 rail.
Yeah, that's nice.
And it's cool. It has like these teeth for their lock.
It's on a McMillan stock, right?
Yeah, it's a McMillan A5. And then what's cool is it actually has, I mean, not that I'd probably ever use it, but it has like measurements. I don't know if you guys can see that.
It's got numbers
for locations.
Yeah, the bottom has like, so you could, I guess, have it exactly where you always want it or whatever.
Yeah, those are nice rails. I just installed 2 of those, and that just ordered for Rick's rifle as well as the one taken to the match.
Hey Rick, here, check this out. 60 degrees.
60 degrees, baby.
60 degrees right here.
Hey Ray, this one's built on an AI kind of
Yeah, this is a Badger Ordnance.
Yeah, Badger, great stuff.
Yeah, this is one of their let me see if we can.
You know why it's badass? Because it's got a 60 degree on it. Just kidding.
I mean, this is the gunsmith. This is the engraving. It's kind of funny. My gunsmith, Ray, his name is his company's called X-Ring Gunsmithing.
Are you serious?
Yeah, do you see the XR logo right here? Let me see if I can get the. Yeah, it's called X-Ring Gunworks right here.
Holy crap. So you got X-Ring that Tax Solutions does. You got X-Ring Gunworks. You have X-Ring Precision, which is in Greensboro, because I was trying to start up another LLC Friday, and every X-Ring is taken. So I'm going with X-Ring Customs that I've always had.
Yeah, I like the X-Ring Customs. That sounds pretty good. Hold let me show what I'm coming up with.
Oh, he's doing it.
So
hold on, Ray's not here right now.
Put a little teaser of this guy.
All right, hold on, I'm back.
That's actually going to work well.
All right, so you've got basically a
Miniature tripod.
bipod.
Bipod, yeah.
Yeah, so this is a lot smaller version, but it's cool. It has the legs are quick lock. But if you guys could see this, you could actually run it.
As a bipod.
Yeah, so you could run this as a bipod, and then what you do is the rear leg sits against the forearm.
Mm-hmm.
So you could actually run it like a bipod, like that, and the rear leg sits up against the forearm. Or you can just pull it down, and now you got a tripod. But what's cool about
how'd you do that? Did you just push down on that?
I just pulled the legs down, literally. So you only have to pull. It's just like a really right stuff. You have to pull up the tab here to adjust the leg. But what I like about this is because a lot of people are like, oh, you can do that with a big tripod. Yeah, you can, but the footprint is never going to be this small. You see how small this footprint is?
Yeah.
You're only in 18 inches. So it's not like a big tripod if you lay it flat. Like, you see how if I lay it flat, you see how low this is?
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah, and I mean, and I got spikes in this too.
You don't have that center thing sticking through.
Yeah, there's no center. It has a full pan in the middle, and it also has a pan on the mount itself. But yeah, we're in the middle of Cerakoting some of the clamp parts and the bolts. The bolts are like 2 chrome, but I'm getting this from a Japanese company that has nothing to do with shooting sports, and figure.
Okay, let me stop you there for just 1 minute. Okay, so it's a really ingenious system. My question would be: is loading the bipod, are you able to lock out the ball enough so that it doesn't start creeping on the ball swivel?
So this is what I was talking to excuse me, this is what I was talking to Rick about, was when we run it like that, yes, there's enough clamping force that as long as, I mean, the rifle that I've been trying it on another Remington that I have, and on my 14-inch 6.5 Creedmoor, and those are 15-pound rifles. So they weigh 15 without me. I'm a 220-pound guy. But with lock, and I'm not talking like a lot of clamp. Literally just if you look right here at the just this type amount right here, you know, literally just tightening the L.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can actually, it'll pivot off the 2 legs in the front before it tries to unlock the ball.
Okay, hold on for just a second. Let me grab my.
It actually comes conservative sniper with spikes as well.
Yeah, it comes with spikes, and the cool thing about this that I'll wait till Ray's back to show him, but I'll show how it how you can actually fold it up like a bipod, so you're not hanging with a big tripod on it. If you know what I'm
go ahead and show them while we're waiting.
So pretty much, if you can imagine if the muzzle end is here, and you know you go this way, you got the back of the rifle here. So we'll imagine it's long ways. You can just put the legs down just like that, and then unlock the ball. You could just pivot it up. So if you can imagine, it would be, you know, just
like a bipod kind of.
Just like bipod, and this thing weighs a pound. If you look close, this is Torca carbon in the legs, and all the legs are just, they're a quarter turn to unloosen them. But
so make it a bipod and load it.
Yeah, so when it's a bipod and it's loaded, it actually has enough force that you'd probably have to, I'm assuming you'd have to lock the legs, the bottom 2 would have to be locked against something so hard, and you'd have to be putting a lot of, I mean, I'm talking a lot of force. Like if you know, I actually used to do bodybuilding. I just kind of stopped recently, and the amount of force that I put, a lot of my friends tell me there's probably a lot of people not going to put as much force against it as I am. But the ball locks up to 90 pounds laterally.
All right, here we got Ray. Ray's got a thing now.
So
he's looking
okay,
for
so I don't know if you've looked. You know, I did a review on this. This is the Really Right Stuff, and this is kind of like the gold standard for tripods.
Yeah.
But you see how here you have this lock arm. You
Yeah.
might want to, and I don't know if this is patented or whatever by them, but this not only locks it, you can lock it with enough force where this is not going to move whatsoever. And it would be a whole lot quicker than trying to twist a ball or twist something. And, this one has the Picatinny as well as the Arca Swiss on it. So basically I can go from an AR straight to an Arca, and that's with another clamp that's up on the top up here. So if you see how that works.
I think that's the Anvil 30 that you're holding, or I think that's one of the Anvil ball heads.
It is 30 is what it is.
Yeah, so my buddy had one of those, and we were trying that out also. So there's a give and take to that, to the lever lock, okay? So yes, when it's all the way locked, it's locked. But the thing is the thing we were having a good time with this guy was because the knob there's a point where you could get torsion on it. So you can make it where it's almost like a Harris bipod and it's slow swiveling or slow panning. And the minute you increase, I'm talking another quarter turn, it ain't moving no more. And when I'm talking like a lot of force. We've had it out for, I don't know how many rounds exactly. A good 500 rounds went through this, about 10 rifles. It seemed to work to the point where people were actually asking, why aren't they doing this already? Like, how come Really Right Stuff isn't doing it? I don't think it's a matter of they don't want to do it. I think it's a matter of people just having a mental thing where they just figure, oh, it's a bike. You have to have a bipod. A bipod is what you use for prone. It's what you use for low distance to the ground. And because mainly the only other option you had, I think, let's just say the Sky bipod wasn't out. If the Sky bipod wasn't out, we're pretty much, all of us know we're stuck to a certain, a limited ratio of panning, a limited ratio of tilt. And that's where it stays. And then you get to the Sky, it offers a lot of that, but the problem with the Sky is, and a lot of people admit it,
it's too damn expensive.
It's really expensive. I have a lot of nice stuff, and I just gotta justify. Like me personally, I don't do any matches or anything, so I'm not really out to go, buy the best stuff to use right now. But what ended up happening was I was actually in the process of buying like an Atlas, just to have another Atlas. I have 2. And I have 4 Harrises, and at the end of the day, what kept coming to me was that it's a bipod. So it's only a bipod. It's limited as a bipod, and you're always the pivot. So if you're using a bipod, the shoulder, if you raise your shoulder, gun tilts down. You lower, but at the same time, you're changing your shooting position the whole time. If you're trying to go, linear, if you're going flat, is almost the best spot for a bipod to work. If let's assume you're not shooting with a mat or you have nothing to lock the legs against.
I like the idea of having them flat and putting it on a tire. I really want to try that.
Yeah, well, what's cool with using a small guy like this, and a lot of people don't understand, is this will hold 90 pounds. We've actually, it'll hold 220. We were standing on it and seeing if the ball would move. But the thing that's cool is, you start going wide with it, and this has pretty much, you just unlock them, these guys, and you pull them out, and you can go all the way flat, with it. But even when you go all the way flat, the footprint is, this is only 18 inches from end to end. The other thing about it is, let's say that you wanted to go like what Rick was talking about. If you're going onto a tire, you can actually open this and you just click down. But, you can literally put it like this, and let me put this back leg up, and you can see how a tire is pretty much going to fit right into these legs. And again, you're going to have a full ball pivot, so you're going to be able to angle it any which way you want. But getting back to what you're saying with the Anvil 30 is, once you start tightening it and going with the knob to torsion it, sometimes, I don't know how about you guys do, but with me, once you lock in your pod, regardless of tripod or bipod, sometimes, let's say you've locked it already, but you get up on the rifle and it's actually off. So you have to unlock it again, realign it, lock it again, or you're going to have to move the whole system over. Whereas with this, you literally loosen it, adjust it, and then you can just torsion it to where you just need it to be tight. You don't actually have to lock it if you don't want, or you could just go up the full, quarter turn and it's just locked.
Yeah.
But,
how long will that get?
Well, the hold on, let me stop you there, because on the Anvil 30, you can move that tension bar to wherever you need it. It doesn't have to.
You can have it hanging out. Yeah, my buddies, we were doing that. We were kind of hanging it off where it was slightly applying pressure. But yeah, but the problem isn't so much that. The problem is also that a lot of people don't have Anvil 30 money, you know, and this whole guy right here, like if you do the quarter turn on the leg, I mean, these guys, hold up right here.
What's your height on that with 3 extensions?
So let me grab a yardstick. I got a yardstick right here. All right, let's see.
Do it in a bipod height.
So at the highest, let's see here. Well, I mean, the highest would be, I guess, the legs almost downward.
Like a bipod,
We're
right?
looking at 15 inches from the mount. So if I run the leg, you know, straight like that down, which is the narrowest you can make the legs without folding them all the way in, and you're looking at 18 inches. You're looking at 15.
That is really ingenious. I want to commend you on that. I think that right there will do very well.
Well, that's why I was telling Rick what I'm planning on doing. I'm having a couple things coated on it because there's a lot of stainless on this, and stuff that I know that a lot of guys that do precision shooting, they're gonna be like, fuck, it's, some guys don't mind the having stainless showing, obviously, because their barrels are all stainless and they know they're gonna change them.
Yeah.
But there's just a lot of these typer snipers sitting behind keyboards, and they're like, oh, it has to be matte black and OD green and flat dark earth, and that's just
a rattle can.
You could rattle can too. But what I like about it is you could actually run this as a bipod, and a lot of times, like we tried doing this with my buddies. He has a really right stuff a 3 section, and the problem with his is when you try to run it like a bipod, there's 2 problems. It's way too long because it's a full, like a 5-foot tripod, and when you run it in a bipod formation, it's actually just so much leverage on those 2 legs for how long they are, and hanging off the rear of the stock that you can actually move the ball. We moved it. And it's not like it can't be done. It can be moved. It's just you need enough leverage to do it. It's just.
What's the total length? What'd you say the length was?
So it goes to 15 inches.
So the Atlas in full length is 9, unless you run extensions and stuff.
But what's cool is it'll go down to, if I have it all the way to the lowest setting, which you probably wouldn't prone that low. But you could, if you had it on something that you had to actually shoot off something from the, so we'll say in this fashion, if you see how it's set up right here. And again, a small footprint, 18-inch footprint, and it's all carbon. It's all carbon and billet. And, to the top of the mount, to the bottom, we're looking at, let's see here. You're looking at 5 inches. So at its lowest setting, it's 5 inches. So it goes 5 inches to 15, and anywhere in between. But yeah, I'm actually in the middle of coating some of the ball head. I'm having something, our logo lasered on it, the Death Squad logo.
What is the shortest when it's standing like a normal bipod?
What's that?
What is the shortest it is when it's at a normal bipod up and down?
So yeah, so let's say it looks like this. So this would be the lowest in a normal bipod. See, you got the front 2. The rear will actually go up against the forearm. You see that? So, and what's cool is it's short enough that it's not. So we had this problem with the big tripod. My buddy was pretty much trying to use his big tripod to see if he could fix or literally make it so that this thing didn't need to exist. And the problem is when you do bipod version on a big tripod, when you go to fold the 3rd leg back, it's actually too long. It goes against the magazine or even under the shooter. Whereas when this is folded all the way up against the forearm, so imagine the front legs are out, the rear's against the forearm. It's only, let's see right here. You're looking at 7 inches. So from where it's mounted on the rail, you just need 7 inches of clear space to clear that 3rd leg if you want to go bipod. On the lowest setting on the bipod, we're looking at 7 inches is when it's the lowest in bipod form.
Okay, so that's only 2 inches taller than the Atlas.
So Reagan, Plus 5, I'm really digging what I'm seeing. I think it's an awesome idea. Have you looked at the Night Force tripods?
Yeah, I looked at the Night Force stuff, which is really, really cool. The biggest problem that I was finding with anyone using a smaller tripod, or let's just say what we've, stuff we've
No.
assumed.
Hold on. Let me stop you there. What I was going to go to and talk about was, so on the Night Force, you can unscrew 2 of the legs to make
Yeah.
walking sticks, which absolutely suck. But what I was going to say was, is it possible for you to incorporate that leg that goes up under the handguard, do a different color at the top or something, so you'd know which one, so you'd know the orientation, and have it so that you could remove that leg so it's not underneath the handguard. That
I
way
guess
it's,
I would assume you could. I mean, because it literally like you
it
can do a half
threads.
turn on the leg clamp and it pulls out.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, the minute you get rid of that, then you're literally just living with a bipod again.
Yeah.
You're just bipoding, but with a ball head. Which what I kind of, to be real, every time we've had this set up as a bipod, we've noticed
Yeah.
that if like, let's say you're laying it on something and there ends up being just wherever you need to shoot and it's not even ground, that third leg actually comes in handy, because you don't have to have the third leg. It's not like a tall tripod. It's a 5 foot, 6 foot tripod. Yeah, I mean, let's say for a shooter, we're not talking about the tripod 6 foot, but the problem is most of the time you have to have all 3 legs even, and when you start rocking them uneven, you move the ball head to a point where you're not getting full articulation of it.
Gotcha.
With the little pod, it doesn't work the same, because obviously you're not going to be, the highest it's going to go is you being crouched. You either being crouched or you're kind of in an awkward position to shoot it.
Yeah.
And the thing about it was that third leg, it's, like I said, you could remove it, but at the same time, it's almost so small that unless you mounted the whole pod back toward, like, in front of the magazine well, where the back leg couldn't go all the way up, other than that, it's going to fit. I mean, I had it, we put it on I have a 7.5 inch, I can't show it on the camera right now. I have a 7.5 inch that we put it on the end of the what do you call it? The handguard. And that was the only one we could get, because the handguard itself was 7 inches, and the leg hit the magazine well of the AR. So if you're not running like, a little itty bitty forend on your rifle, it'll fit. I mean, because no one's going to stick this on a 7.5 inch pistol. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I guess the $1 million question, what's the price point going to be, and how long before we see any?
So the price point to people buying it at full street price, they're looking at $250. It comes with a 10-year warranty.
Holy crap. That's going to take the world on by a storm.
Yeah. So it has full, it's the Japanese made Torca legs, the carbon legs. I know for a fact that the ball head and everything is made in Okinawa, Japan. But the place, when I sent them emails, and I actually have a buddy who does the Japanese translating for me, who's actually in the military still. They don't know nothing about shooting sports, like, meaning they don't look into it, because in Japan they don't have a shooting industry like we do, because they can't own firearms. So those guys, it's a little different. And with Really Right Stuff, they're kind of charging a lot, not because it's a bad product, it's a great product, but they're in the wine country. I mean, if you look at where they're located now, they moved to wine country, literally where vineyards are. Their rent is not cheap. I guarantee it's not cheap. It's in California. I live here. It's not cheap out here unless you live literally out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's what I think Really Right Stuff did. I think somebody was over there one day and was like, hey, because I don't know if you guys know that somewhat of a history, but as far as my background in the military is concerned, I left in the end of 2007, and my buddy who's a scout sniper. I was only a DMR. That was as far as I ever got. I was a designated marksman. So yeah, I had my time with the SR-25, I had an M110, but I never had an M24 or, M48-3 or any of that shit. But my buddy who's a scout sniper, they were barely getting Manfrottos in like 2006 or 7.
Yep.
And we were barely getting them. I'm talking like the top of the sniper squad guy, he had one, and no one else in the squad would have one like that. And then obviously now to this day they're proven, and they can, everyone's got one now. It's almost like you have a sniper squad.
What up, Match King?
Yeah, but see, I think Really Right Stuff, because I was a photographer back in the day, Really Right Stuff was really a photography company, and they had always charged big money for it, knowing that they didn't pay big money for this stuff. And then when it got introduced to the shooting industry, and then they saw that market, I mean, the prices for these things are stupid. I mean, that's just outrageous.
And it's crazy because, like, if you go look at, let's say their competitor in the camera industry, right? And you go look at Manfrotto, the price is almost half. If you look at a Manfrotto, the same style tripod, you know, the same height, the same section legs, it's literally like $500, $400 for a good one, carboned out.
Yeah, but I think Manfrotto dropped the ball because they didn't look at the lightweightness of it. All the Manfrottos I have are heavy, even with the carbon fiber legs. I mean, they're crazy heavy.
They're and that, I think, it has a lot of the, I think with them, they were more just trying to like take their existing product, you know, and because my uncle, he does some photography, but more of a hobby, and he always claims that, oh, they like having weight on stuff because they don't want nothing moving in case this or that's moving on, or they keep mounting, you know, they like it for some reason. But then you get the other guy, the guy who's like, nah, I want all my shit stable and I want it light. So, and you can have that, you know, I think that's part of evolution, you know what I mean? It's part of what things are going to end up as, and almost where, like, even these PRS rifles, where it's like, I remember the days where people were literally like, other than your barrel being a big barrel, they were trying to have a lightweight setup, you know, and then you start getting into certain disciplines, and now they're like weight kits, adjustable weight kits, add more weight, ballast weight. Fucking dude, the rifles are like, you might as well have a M80, you know, M82A1 and shit, you know, have a 50 and shit, you know. I mean, you were talking 40-pound rifles and stuff. And that's the thing, you know, is when I came out with this tripod idea, it wasn't really that I was trying to reinvent the wheel. It was really because I started looking at pricing of good bipods. And I kept getting to the same thing, which is like, okay, at the end of the day, you can move the legs every which way you want, but you only have these two things. That's it. They're always two. And when you're on two, meaning like this, no matter which way they go, you can go like this, all kinds of shit. But two's always going to pivot off of a line, because between the two dots, you always have a line. So whether they're like this, you know what I'm saying? Whether they're like this, and wherever that line is, that's the pivot point for that. And then you still have to play with the whatever type of mechanisms on top mounted. But again, you being the shooter, you have to still compensate for the whole rear of the aim, regardless. Where when you start getting to a tripod, a lot of that's kind of taken up for you. You know, the ball, you have a ball, the thing's swiveling off a center point. And then you're literally the one that's got to, you know, just make sure you're good. But the amount of control to me, this is my opinion, you know, I know you guys shoot a lot more than me, but in my opinion, when you're shooting off any tripod, the amount of rear control is cut in half from a bipod. With a bipod, you put your hand there and it makes a big difference. On a tripod, you put your hand, you actually have to fight the ball, or you have to loosen the ball. And then you're just where it's, you know, the front's being carried by the ball itself. So, you know, it's a different thing. But what I wanted to do, and I was telling Rick about it, is I'm almost done getting a couple of these back from my Cerakoter. And I wanted to give one to you and one to you. So you guys get one each. You don't have to send them back. Keep them, use them. I don't expect a review video or nothing. I just want real, like, talk to me, email, whatever, just to know how it really works, you know, and where it fails. Because I don't have enough guys out here other than myself that actually shoot. These guys will shoot when I take them to shoot. Because these guys it's different. It's kind of a different world with these Cali guys, man. I mean, I'm not knocking that I live here. I grew up here, but I was raised, you know, my father had me at 58, and he's from Massachusetts, and he's passed away when I was 9 years old. But from 5 years old, I had a pellet rifle. At 7, he bought me a 1022. I remember the year before he got cancer, he took just me up with him to Colorado with his Remington 700 and 270. And he, you know, and I didn't know shit. I'm a little kid, and you know, took me deer hunting with him. But I grew up, I realized, with somebody that has a more older, not age-wise, but just that older mindset of, you know, more of, I guess, what people have in the country, let's just say. When you have land and you have area to shoot, and you can have fun, you know. When you live out in California, that kind of doesn't exist. It's
you're driving hours to get out.
I mean, it's pretty bad when guys could get, like me and Hitting Steel, could get on and talk about in a short list, we could name every range that's accessible up to San Francisco from down here. And I'm in Orange County, LA area.
Yeah.
And it's literally that bad, you know. And then if you go out to land, and sometimes the BLM is cool, and they'll tell you, oh yeah, you can go here and you can you know, you can use this area or what have you. But sometimes you call BLM and they're not that nice. They're like, you know what, we don't want to have any shooting going on. You know, they don't even get in specifics. They just say no. You know, you go to a range, and this, so it's kind of you know, hit and miss if you're gonna have a good shooting day or not, unless the range is open. You know, it is. But yeah, I want to get you guys.
That's really ingenious. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Oh no, not a problem, man. I mean, I appreciate having guys that actually could use this stuff to its limit. You know, just meaning, I know it's not the military. It's not like I'm shipping this to you guys, and you guys are the fucking, you know, the third specialty or something. But you guys shoot more than enough to be able to know what will work, what won't work on it. And yeah. I believe that my mind can do that a lot, but you know, in theory is theory, and you have reality. So
I got a question for you. So
yeah,
normally, like with the bipod, right, you'd have the two in the front, it'd be more forward. But I want to know if you can, especially if you're like, say, I'm just trying to figure out, because shooting off tires kind of sucks sometimes. So if you could actually slide that all the way back where the leg wouldn't work, but then you turn it so that the two are in the back and the one's pointed out the front towards the muzzle. When you're loading the bipod that way, will it fold in now that it's kind of the opposite of what we originally were doing, or no?
I highly doubt it. We've actually put it where, so like, yes, I've actually done that. So I ran it like this all the way against the magwell on the rifle, to where it clears the magwell, but you still have all three legs out. It'll actually hold the whole rifle up if your rifle is balanced enough. I mean, I haven't tried it with a rifle that only had a bull barrel and then nothing in the forend, you know, but the rifle, the Remington I was using, it has an AICS chassis on it, and with an ARCA on it. And if you slide it to the magwell, the ball head has more than enough force to actually hold it there on its own. So it'll hold it there by itself. The rifle will just balance on its own because it's more of mounted in the center. And then after that, if you want to, let's say, you shoulder it or what have you, it doesn't really do, because the third leg's down. I have not tried, though, putting it all the way against the magwell and bipoding it, just because I have never done that with a real bipod. You know what I mean? Because you know, when you use a bipod, no one ever thinks, hey, take the bipod and slide it to the magwell. It's always the opposite.
That's a huge reason
put it at the end of the handguard, you know. So
the ARCA Swiss rail.
Yeah, actually, in a lot of the competitions, especially these sniper comps, that is a big thing of being able to slide the bipod closer to the magwell, because if they have you shooting off of, let's say, a 55-gallon drum, your bipod hangs off too much, or you're going to be supporting off the rear and using a pump pillow. But if you can get that bipod all the way up to the magwell, you have enough surface area there to be able to get a solid surface and put a bag down.
Hook over it.
Yeah, I mean,
you'll be able to have that stock.
That's why I think you guys. That's where you guys, the professors. That's why you guys are here to help, because I don't shoot enough matches at all. Last time I shot a match was a pistol match in production class with my Glock 35, and that was in USPSA, and that was like a year ago. That was the last actual like shooting a match. And then the last long range thing I did was, almost 2020 now. So 2018, I did Todd Hodnett's class. I did basic long range 1 and 2. So I didn't do as advanced. I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of not sure what to even take out of 1 and 2, and the money that they were charging, I'm only so rich. So I did what I felt comfortable with, but I learned a lot from it. And like literally, he's the one that kind of, between him and a couple of my sniper buddies, they were the ones that kept the wheels turning up here. There's something about hitting shit at a long distance with a nice rifle. I don't know what it is. I don't know the magic recipe of that.
Like a drone.
It's I don't know if I'm just more of a visually type person, but it's almost just the magic of you pulling something over here and then something 9 football fields away gets touched, you know, and there ain't nothing you're gonna in life that does that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, you don't have these for sale yet, right? People are asking if you have a website.
Yeah, I don't have a website right now. Everything's gonna go up about the same time. So when I get enough. So pretty much what's going to happen is you guys are looking about another 2-3 months on this tripod. I know it's a little wait, but their main reason is because I'm not only am I getting them out to like these two gentlemen. I have a buddy that's serving right now overseas. I'm going to be getting one to him. I kind of want all the real world input on it before I release it, because I don't want to release it and know that there's something I could have upgraded or done better. And I'm not trying to just keep raising the price or anything like that either. I just want it to be a good quality product from the get-go, and kind of be in its own league, not meaning better, but just meaning that
comparable.
Yeah,
But
I just want to make sure that it's not like something that I let go of, and then everybody's like, oh, if I was him, I would have did this and I would have did that, and then it ends up turning into like a 50-50 product, where 50% of the people are happy with it, the other 50% are, what did I waste my money on this for? I could do it with a Harris or something. So
yeah, but a good example of that is like even the Atlas bipod, even though they have an awesome thing, they're always trying to figure out something better. Like they've actually made the button bigger. Like Ray's compared to mine, the button's a little bit bigger and easier to, manipulate the legs. So there's
this
nothing
also
wrong
has
with
all
it.
the other features on it too. So because it runs a traditional ball head, you have the pan down here.
Yep.
And you also actually have a pan on the mount. So the mount itself has a pan. So you can lock the ball and just pivot the top. But the way I was using it is I pretty much locked everything straight. And again, what I like about it is if it's mounted to the rifle, you can fold it all up, and then you can literally loosen it, and it folds up against the forearm. So as you guys can see, that folds up against the forearm. You can get it out of the way. I've shot it like this on a backpack, so you can still do the backpack shooting, and the ball head is not too big. It's a 40 mil ball head, and the whole unit weighs, I think it's 17 ounces, so it's a little over a pound, for the whole thing.
Well, that is really cool, man. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Oh, no problem, man. I can't wait to get it out to you guys, and so you guys could actually play with it.
Yeah.
Either. Yeah, just send one without the coated stuff on it.
Yeah, you know what I might do, because the problem was I was taking it to a gentleman I met, and he owns a laser engraving company, and I'm one of those, because I'm my normal job is a tattoo artist. You could design something like 20 times, dude. You can make 20 different logos, and 15 of them to you are like, wow, this is really cool, but I'm just trying to get something that's not too crazy, but it doesn't look cheap either. I hate buying stuff. I don't care what the price is. It could be cheap price wise, but I still want quality. I think everyone does.
Yeah, Drew, it comes with the rubber feet and the spikes.
Yeah, so let me grab the spikes right here to show you guys.
That's what it comes with.
Yeah, I was actually only going to offer it with the spikes. And then I had some people like, no, just leave the rubber legs on it. But these are the little spiked feet that go on it right here. You guys could see these. These are the little spiked. And what they do is they got a hole in them. So you can stick an Allen through there if you have to, and tighten it. But they're going to be included. They're not an extra charge or nothing. Hold on 1 second.
Conservative Sniper, there's no website yet. Now, is this going under the company of Death Squad?
Yeah, so this is going under Death Squad. Death Squad's all the shooting stuff, the knife stuff, like anything that logo. So pretty much everything, that was like a name. So when I was in the Ranger Battalion, that was the nickname of our crew, and that was just what we like calling a lot of the guys in there. They'll actually have like, you're part of Charlie Company or Bravo Company, but you guys call yourself whatever. There's guys call them the Bone Crushers, whatever. But yeah, that was just one of our things. We had a lot of slogans with it. I'm probably not going to use that slogan though, because there's the F-bomb in that slogan.
Yeah.
If you read it, it says "fuck with us and find out." But
I was gonna put it. It was gonna make it on my cup, and I'm like, I carry it everywhere. I'm like, you know what? I better not put this on.
I know. It's funny is I have that on my Jeep. I have that sticker on the back of my Jeep, and I get guys like, "Oh, that's a cool sticker, dude. Where do I get one?" I'm like, I used to sell them. I'm like, nah, I don't have none, but I have a bunch. I just don't, hand them out anymore. But Sorry, guys, if you guys are leaving comments and you're asking me questions or anything, I haven't figured out. This is my first time on live, so I have no clue how to pull up the.
You got how many inch-pound torque for the spike feet? Till it's tight, I would assume.
I think these are honestly for like 25 inch-pounds. They're not a lot because they have a rubber O-ring. So the minute the O-ring engages, it just gets tight and they bottom out. So the minute you bottom it out, the rubber's actually tightened. Is kind of like it works as a lock in a sense, you know. But
yeah,
I've had my buddy has one of these right now, and he just left the spike legs on him, the spike feet on him only. He actually blue Loctite him on. He literally left him. He doesn't want to use the rubber feet. The only reason that the rubber feet are beneficial, and I will say this right now, is actually because, and I'll just show you guys. So when you have it like this and you go all the way out, so if you unlock it, these literally work like really right stuff or whatever. So if you take these and go all the way out, if you notice, the rubber foot is actually what contacts down.
Yeah.
So if you're on spikes, the only problem is if you go full flat, you're going to actually be resting on the tightening collar. So and that's something, you know, like I said, I want everyone to know everything. I don't like hiding shit. I just because I honestly buy a lot of shit. I have a bad spending habit, and because of that, you get to see things that you've been marketed a certain way. You're like, oh, that's cool, you know. And I'm on forums too and stuff. You guys ever on Sniper's Hide or any of that shit? I'm on there too. Excuse the French. But there's a lot of guys that, like I said, there's a lot of typer snipers. You know, they're sitting there and they're keyboard warrior their life away. And like I saw a thread on how the Sky bipod is you know, it's loose or it rattles too much when it's not under load. And then you get a bunch of guys that get on there that are actual PRS shooters, and they're like, yeah, well, I only shoot it under load, dude. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, okay. They don't know what else to say, you know. And it's like, sometimes it's good to have questions. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, the only question that's stupid is one not asked. But at the same time, it's like, I'm pretty sure that guy who made it, he's not an idiot, you know. And the guy shoots himself. So I mean, you're not trying to be in this business to make crap. I mean, honestly, especially not charging those prices. You're not, you know what I mean?
Drew wants to know if he can send you money that will help fund getting one of these units to our guys playing in the sandbox now.
I would say yes, but initially the order I have coming of these, I have 50 of them coming. I have 5 with me now, including the one in my hands. So that's pretty much the prototype group. That's the R&D group. Those are the 2 that you guys are getting. I have a buddy with one, and then one's going to a scout sniper in the Marine Corps. And until the other shipment comes, which is kind of shit delayed right now, man. They're having issues right now trying to get them out of Japan.
Everything sucks in the mail.
Yeah, in my case, they're having problems with customs, I guess. Something about the customs broker and something about that. So I don't know the time frame on when they show up. I'm being told right now about 4 weeks away, and they're not being shipped through air. They're being shipped through a boat. So I don't know if you guys know the difference, but boat shipping overseas takes kind of a minute. So I figured it's enough time. I only started this project about 2 months ago. So I just kept it under key, and I told Rick about it because I figured, shit, I'm meeting you in person. You know, I might as well let you know what's up, and we'll start talking. And but yeah, I didn't really want to mention anything because I knew that the minute I mention on a forum or something, I didn't care about the guys trying to shoot down the idea. I just didn't want somebody to go do what pretty much I'm doing right now ahead of me. So if I start, it's just kind of like really right stuff, right? If they went out and said, hey, everyone should go get a tripod, look for a carbon tripod with a locking ball head that's real strong, you know, a meaty size, they wouldn't be able to sell as many. Instead of what they did is they're smart. They went and produced their own line of stuff. They looked at what I know that for a fact from one of my buddies was telling me, because they shipped out a bunch of stuff overseas to the soldiers to use during during all the SOAR prototype shit. And they knew about the Manfrottos. They knew about everything that was out there. They're not dumb. And
yeah.
And with my case, what happened was when I got into this, I'll be honest, I went to Really Right Stuff's website and I said, let's look at their small bipods. And I looked at them, and the problem with it, I'll tell you right off the bat, they're $700 to $1,300 for this size tripod. Yeah. I don't feel that, not that there's people that can't afford it. I don't believe there's people that feel that when you're getting a little product like this, it's not a gun or something. that they're going to justify spending 700, 800 bucks on. You know, it's different when you're actually getting a 5-foot tripod, and you see the carbon, and you know that, oh man, this is what everyone uses in the PRS. Let's go look at the PRS blogs. Oh, look, all these guys have it. It's an easy sell, even though it's that expensive. I know, at the range, I'll see guys with it. I'm just like, damn, the rifle isn't, to me, I'm not trying to be judgmental, but the guy will have like an off-the-shelf rifle and not an AI or something. I'm talking, he'll have like a Savage, an SP or something, an SP10 or something. But he'll have a really tripod, excuse me. And I'm just like, oh, that's a nice tripod. And he's like, yeah, it's the shit, man. There's nothing better. But again, it's like, is there really nothing better, or is it just that nobody's competing? I mean, a lot of people, I think, have to look at it as it's a different industry. When you're getting into the camera guys, and then they look over into the firearm department, it's like they both kind of relate to everybody, but the type of owner that owns firearms, in my opinion, is a different type of owner than most people. They're more about freedom. They're more about their right protection. Like for me, I love firearms for protection of my family. There's the bad guy is going to be armed. The bad guy is going to have his shit to do his
he's
job.
He's going to wish he was.
So, in my sense, having more training and having knowledge of how to use your stuff properly and in a timely fashion, I mean, is a big advantage against the bad guys. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I will tell you, I don't know how much time you've had to play with it out in the weather or anything like that, but the Night Force, when those first came out, they were really, really hard to get. And I thought, maybe because I got one of the first runs of it, maybe they hadn't had a chance to get their kinks worked out. But one of the biggest problems, and that's been a very disappointing bipod form, or tripod. Pretty much now, the only thing I use that tripod for is for putting a spotting scope on top of. They marketed it as a rifle capable bearing tripod, and maybe for a 22. But if it rains, the rubber slips from the locking collars. And on top of that, I've already lost 2 feet where the epoxy has separated from the inside wall of the carbon fiber, and I had to re-epoxy those in. Fortunately, I found them feet when they came off. Additionally, there's an extension piece that you can remove from the main upright. That epoxy came off, had to re-epoxy that one. And then when I did shoot the Bushnell, I did try to use it because I wanted a tripod and I didn't want to take the really right stuff, because I said, you know what, I can use the walking sticks as well. Absolutely worse. It's better that they had not done it as walking sticks, because they're horrible for walking sticks. I should have just taken my trekking poles. They slip on everything. If it's muddy at all, I mean, it's horrible. So I would not recommend at this point. I hate to say it, but bad on Night Force from using a bad vendor for making that.
Yeah, I'm glad that's a good thing you brought up, because I actually haven't tried it. Because I'm in California, it's almost always sunny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you make me want to just do some testing where it's like, I don't want to say necessarily just keep it submerged, because obviously I'm not going to shoot it submerged, but I am almost curious to like submerge it for a while and see what happens. You know what I mean?
Well, just spray it.
I would highly recommend it, because the Night Force, like I said, once water gets up under that rubber, you can't tighten it and it'll start slipping on you.
Yeah, because what I'm looking at it right now, and what I'm thinking could almost be had is setting up drain holes in the legs. Because the mount system, the center of the mount and the ball and everything, I know that the ball is sealed. It's a sealed cartridge ball. So I don't know how to explain that, but they showed me pictures. But I'm not worried as much on the ball itself than I am about the hollow legs and with the rubber, like the things he's talking about, where the epoxy released from the inside of the carbon tube.
Yep.
But I was looking at it right now. I'm wondering if there might be a way to set it up where there's a drain system to have all kinds, whatever fluids in there, literally kind of have a way out. You know what I mean? I could also have the legs, the telescoping legs, like just meaning what I'm trying to say is that you see how when you unscrew this, you know, and you pull this out, I'm wondering if I might actually be able to have these legs, a very small flute system put into the leg. So that it actually has a system of channels around the tube to release moisture. I don't know if you guys have seen, let me show you have you guys ever seen the Badger Ordnance bolt? Let me show you guys.
Yeah, that's that weird, like you were telling me about it.
Yeah, it's got a flat. It's got flats on it.
No, it's not that. I'll tell you the truth, man. I'm a nerd when it comes to just having different stuff. So let's see if you guys can see this. This is the bolt. Okay, so I'm not talking about this. You guys are probably talking about the flat right here.
Yeah.
That sits in the ejection cover. I'm not talking about that's for, they do that for design. Yeah. It's this. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me see. Do you see this groove that's cut around this?
Yes.
Now look where it goes up over here. You see how all of a sudden, hold on. It runs this camera's kind of, yeah, so it goes around it right here. You see that weird pattern, and then all of a sudden on the bottom it runs down the whole thing.
Yep.
The groove runs down the whole thing. And when I called Marty, the owner of Badger Ordnance, he says that's his flute design. That's how he designed the fluting because he didn't want to take too much material off.
Yeah.
But he wanted something that no matter which way the bolt is moving, it has a certain ridge, part of that groove that's always trying to clear part of the chamber, or not the chamber, but the inside of the receiver out.
Yes.
And yeah, and I might be able to have something like this groove engraved onto the, you know, onto the leg, onto like where you guys see like this part, you know what I mean? So there's always, instead of it being smooth on smooth, there would actually have a channel, a certain channel around the whole thing that, you know, directs the moisture out. But I'm glad you brought that up, man, because I have not at all thought about trying it in weather. And I know there's going to be a lot of guys, you know, you show up to a match and it's like sprinkling or it's, you know, and you're already there.
No, it's going to rain like torrential if you're on the East Coast. It's going to flood on you.
Yeah.
The other thing I forgot to mention about the Night Force, and I'm going to show you guys on here. You see these, and this is the really right stuff, but I'm just showing you because almost all tripods have a little pivot screw here that holds the leg on. You see that?
Yeah.
On the Night Force, you can go back to single there, Rick. Or not single, but triple. On the Night Force, those all work themselves loose to the point of I lost one and was able to find the screw. Now, I red Loctited them back into place, but they still work themselves loose. I don't know if it's something with the action of working the legs, so be careful with that.
Why is it even there?
It's funny you brought that. So it's funny you brought that up because the ones that we got from the manufacturer, I don't know if you see this, but they're stainless. You see how they're shiny?
Yep.
And so that was one of the things that we actually ordered new bolts to have matte black bolts. So the problem wasn't that. Once we started talking about that, somebody brought up your idea and said, well, I've had stuff just back out. And no matter what you do, other than maybe red Loctite, which that might even back out, they back out because of the, you know, the force of back and forth, that constant. I mean, it's kind of like working something free. But what my idea was maybe to put a pop-on C-clip.
Yep.
So if you can imagine a clip that's machined to go over the head of both of them.
Yeah.
And so literally, I don't know if you see that, but there. So the clip would go on the underside, kind of like how my fingers are doing. And it would be a physical item to keep them there. So there's no way for them to completely back out. I don't know if it would have enough tension on it because obviously you'd have to be able to spring it over the head of both bolts. I don't know if it would have enough force to where it would, meaning if they did back out, they would still be loose, but they probably wouldn't be able to go back maybe 2 or 3 threads. You know, they would have to stay there, like kind of like that. But that's actually a good idea.
Just something to think about, things that I run into with all these other tripods.
No, and you know what's funny is like I probably wouldn't even, and I haven't used them enough to know that. That's my point. Is like even when I brought up with Rick, I'm like, between you and Ray, I'm like, you know, you kind of fill a big void out of the people that I get to talk to about shooting. You know, a lot of guys, they just either, I don't know, I'm not talking crap, but they'll go buy white box Winchester ammo. I'm going to go waste 2 hours at the range, and I don't have a problem with that, but they don't want to get into the specifics of, oh, why does my group look like that big? You know, why is they
Yeah.
don't give a crap? They just don't. They're just looking at like, you know, will it kill somebody? Yeah, it will. Okay, it works.
If I can,
But there's a whole bunch of shit that works like that. But when you're trying to go for precision, or maybe you're just trying to get, you know, you just like, I like having accurate firearms just because when, you know, if you're in those situations, like I was one of the guys at the FOBs that would always, there's always an area to do live fire practice, and you get ammo for free pretty much. And I would always be there shooting. And some of the guys, you have the guy who's not good at shooting, and that's why he's trying to do it. I was not bad at shooting ever. I have my rifleman's expert badges and shit like that. I had to get a bunch of expert badges doing what I did. And the thing was because when you're shooting precise and you have to start going at range, that little extra bit of accuracy is what actually might hit your target.
Yeah.
And that's why, to me, it's a big deal. Because if you're off, let's say you're in the middle of a transition or something, you've got to pull. That's your shot. You have a guy, maybe you have a mover, and you have to take that shot. And sometimes just that little edge, you know that, hey, at least I'm still shooting in this certain box. That guy's still at the end of that box of where it's going to actually hit him. It hits him. Versus having a gun that's just kind of sloppy, and you try to make that most accurate shot. Well, it's still off because your damn group's too big. So, you know, nothing's going to fix that. And I know there's a lot of people, you're not shooting live movers and stuff like that, but there's also a lot of guys I've talked to. I noticed that they don't shoot. They've never, you know, it's one thing to shoot a deer. You get like, you know, you get your glimpse, you see it, you're going to pull up and shoot it. But there's guys that I've encountered that literally run across, you don't see them. You know, another 5 minutes, you're getting intel. These guys run back across. And a lot of times we were taught ambush shooting. I don't know, you know, what school you're from, but what I do is, so we would have to go, okay, the guy's going this way. Well, I'm going to put my reticle in front of him and wait for him to show up, because you ain't chasing shit. You know, if you start following the guy, there's a pause. So you're following, and then you got to pull. That guy's already gone, maybe, or maybe you're in the trace of him now, because he's actually, you got distance between you that's also helping him out. But these days, obviously, I ain't shooting movers like that. And it's a different ballgame, man. Combat is a whole different ballgame than shooting at a match. As far as the pressure is a lot similar, but at the same time, you don't feel like, oh, if I don't do something, you know, this guy might RPG me tonight and shit, squad. You know, in competition, you kind of have more of your self pressure. You know, like, yeah, I beat on myself if I don't do good, but most people that I served with that were out in combat in the two-way shooting range, when they went to competition shooting, it was literally a personal thing. Meaning some of the guys would still be hard on themselves just because that's the type of person they are. And then you had the opposite. You had guys that are like, oh, well, this ain't you know, I ain't gonna get, the CL ain't gonna say shit, the captain ain't gonna say shit, no one's gonna say shit. So, oh, I screwed up today. And you know, life goes on, and so it changes the game, you know. But again, it's all personal. I think it's all individual, you know. Reese's Sticks, dude. This guy, man, I'm a biggest sweet tooth ever, dude. Don't even show me that stuff, dude.
You know what? I got me 24 donuts today. You got me 100 donuts now.
I needed a little pick me up.
So I gotta ask you guys, how do you guys read chat and are on camera at the same? Because I hit the chat button, right, and then you guys are gone. I could hear you, and it says live comments. I hit live comments, so I can see these comments going up, but I can't see shit. So then I have to turn it off, and then I see you guys. It's like, okay.
Are you on
you
your?
Don't need to see us, really.
I'm on my phone. I'm on my my Galaxy
phone. That's what I'm doing. I'm actually going to chat, and I'll wait and read it, but knowing that I can be seen, but I can't see you guys. It's a pain in the butt.
That makes perfect sense now, because there's times where like a lot of people will be commenting, and then you'll vanish, or maybe you won't respond to us for a minute, and then all of a sudden you'll catch up to us, you know? And so that makes perfect sense now.
So have you heard of a Nord locking washer?
What is it?
Can you see that on the screen right now from Barrier Reading?
Nord locking washers are the only lock washers that actually work, in my experience. Well, I mean, that's assuming that you're using a washer to keep tension. I actually don't know how good any locking washer would be, because of what me and Ray were talking about with it going back and forth. It's kind of like taking something, you move it, here you go. You move it back and forth enough times, and at a certain point, either you're going to wear the metal out or it's going to try to back off. And I'll look into it. I'll say that. I don't like shooting ideas down. I'll check those out. But the washers that are set up on this are actually, they look to be bronze or brass. There's a color to them. I don't know if you guys can see the color, but there's an actual different color where the washers are inside the legs.
It's the exact same way on a Really Right Stuff as well.
Yeah, which I wouldn't doubt that this company doesn't, they probably did their homework before they made these things.
Either that or they make
probably are Really Right Stuff.
What's funny is through my research, I found out that, did you know that all the legs come from the same place in Japan?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say is there's probably only a couple places doing the carbon fiber.
Yeah, no, and that's what it is I actually have a friend who's a composite engineer. So he works for a company called Vector Composites. They make they used to make the engine covers for the Apaches. They made different NV housings. They were all made out of dry carbon pre-preg.
Yeah.
And he's one of the guys I sent pictures of this to, and he's like, "Oh, that all comes from this one spot in Japan." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And he goes, "I'm all, dude, they make Chinese ones." And he goes, "Yeah, those guys have to get them from them too. They don't have their own place that does it." And it's just anything, you buy enough of that, you buy enough quantity, and you can get that price where you want. So
yeah, actually, I have a lot of experience with the composites because me and another guy, actually, we were talking about him earlier. He's up in Illinois now. We had developed and invented a carbon fiber intake for NASCAR. And yeah, we actually marketed that depending on the application, whether you were on a road course or super speedway, something like that. And so we got in with Hans de Botek, who does all the carbon fiber masks for like the BMW Oracle, for Porsche.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and so he's actually in North Carolina, but super good guy. But he actually worked with us on making those products, and we were offering them a carbon fiber. But yeah, that was an invention from years ago, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's funny you bring, I never said nothing about it, but so before I deployed in '99, I deployed in the middle of 2000. I bought an E36 M3.
Okay.
And yeah, and I had that set up with a lot of Euro shit. I'm talking, I had the Euro individual, so it's a S52 block. I had the individual throttle bodies off the Euro E36. I also had the Euro.
So you could get more horsepower because they had more horsepower in Europe.
Yeah, I had a company called Rebello build the motor. I had Schritt cams. I also had the 6-speed Euro transmission in it. Okay. And this was before the E46s. So when I had it done, people were like, "Oh wow, blah blah." It cost an arm and a leg. It was like $7,000 transmission used. But yeah, that was probably one of my favorite cars I've ever owned. I've had like 20-something cars, and that is one of my favorite cars I've had. I mean, I had everything done to where I had the rear strut towers welded, reinforced and welded on that car. Because I actually cracked them. There's a track called Willow Springs that we race at over here.
Yeah, I know Willow Springs.
And so I went there enough to where I started having this weird, like a popping metal sound. The guy who built my roll cage, I take it to him, and he's like inspecting shit, thinking it's something he did, like something had freed.
And your towers are popping through.
Yeah, because I had no interior in it. So it was it had a Turner Motorsports dashboard in it. So it was a full carbon dashboard. I used an iPod to drive the damn thing. Meaning for radio, I used an iPod. There was no radio in it, nothing. I had the cage went through the firewall, through the front and everything, because I wanted to be Mr. Cool Guy. But honestly, the reason I did it was because I was getting into road racing, and it was right toward the time that the drifting shit started. I'm actually good friends with Vaughn Gittin Jr. I don't know if you know drifting, but he drives the Mustang Ford.
I know drifting very well. Do you know Doug Vanderbrink?
Yeah. So
I used to do the drift laps down there at Fontana with BMW. And so myself and Doug Vanderbrink, who was running the Formula D, and this is the first time this has ever come up on a chat. I'm getting into stuff that I don't share, but it's okay. It's no big deal. It's behind me now. But I did a lot of drifting, and so I was good friends with Doug. And so we would go out to Fontana like twice a year, and we would do drift events out there. So I was one of the drivers for that, and yeah, so it's
That's
a
crazy.
small
You know
world.
what's funny is I probably saw you out there and didn't know nothing. Just hey, who's this guy?
Yeah,
And because there's a guy named Charlie. He used to have a thing called Drift Days.
yeah,
There were people that would hold him out, at the streets of Willow, which is like the small track of that.
yeah.
I remember Fontana. They were doing a lot of stuff there because they would use like even Irwindale. They'd use like the inside of the circle track,
Yep.
to do their whether it's exhibition or practicing and stuff. But yeah, I
'cause
got
that's
into
the same.
drifting.
Yeah, that was the same stuff we did over at used to be Charlotte Motor Speedway, and then it was Lowe's Motor Speedway. You'd
Yeah,
have the
yeah.
big track, but then all the infield stuff is where we would do all the drift stuff.
Yeah, I didn't make it as far as you though. I tried to get into drifting. I did one drift event for like your own learning how to drift type of thing. I got decent at doing it, and then I smoked my
Yeah.
head. So I was one of those dudes at the time was like, oh, I have BBS, LMs, 3-piece wheels, and I had expensive at the time. They're like SP 9000 Dunlops. Burnt them up literally in like 5 laps, toasted them. My buddy's like, dude, you brought extra tires, right? I'm like, nah, dude, I didn't. He's like, well, dude, now you're gonna have to fucking drive home slow as shit, and we'll follow you. I'm not even right. And so then I go back, and my buddy's like, oh, you got to go get new tires. I'm like, yeah, no shit. And I look them up, and I'm like, I'm not gonna buy one tire. One was worn more than the other, and I was like, you know what,
Yeah.
dude, I think this isn't for me. I'll just keep watching. I'll just watch it. I'll enjoy it, but. Yeah, it scared me real quick, man, because I race bikes. I have crotch rockets, and it's a little different. You could buy a set of slicks for a crotch rocket for $300, And
Yeah.
I have a ZX6R that I race now, and
Are you with like Wira or
yeah,
CCS? Or what are you doing?
yeah. So I used to do Wira a lot. I actually my mom had me on a 50 when I was like 7 or 8 years old. I was doing dirt bikes as a kid, and then when I got older, I got into the street bike stuff when I was allowed to buy my own bikes because they didn't want to help me get into street bikes. My mom, she's Filipina, Chinese, and my stepdad, he's a colonel in the Marine Corps, and they were both like, "Oh, you're gonna kill yourself. You're gonna kill yourself." That's the only thing they ever told me. You're gonna kill yourself. Well, then it's been, I'm 39 now, and I've been riding street bikes since, I bought my first one at 18 on the dot, and knock on wood, but you got to ride like you're already going to get hit. I mean, people don't understand that. You have to ride as if you're, they don't see you there. And that's one of my big things when I street ride is that, I'm not really into like pulling stunts or nothing, but just meaning in general, when you're riding on the street, you can't assume that they see you. You can't assume they're going to stop for you. And if shit hits the fan, you're the one who's probably going to get hurt, so. I just ride like a ghost. I ride like I assume nobody sees me anyways, and I just kind of ride responsible. But yeah, I have a thing for crotch rockets, man. I had a Panigale last year. I had stolen after 6 months. And if you guys out there don't know, buy Gap insurance. If you don't know what Gap insurance is, just buy it anyways. Because I had bought this Panigale. It's a Ducati 1199. This was like a year and a half or almost 2 years ago. The bike was $22,000 out the door. For guys that don't know, that's a lot for a street bike. Okay, that's like you're on the high end of Ferrari shit on street bikes. So I thought I was Mr. Cool Guy, and had it at my condo, my townhome. I had it parked next to the car at the time I had, and I just kept it there, always outside. Everyone told me, take that to your mom's, put it in your mom's garage. I don't have a closed garage; it's like a covered thing. And I said, nah, dude, no one's going to touch it. It's right under my house. I'm talking, 12 feet under where my feet walk. And I'm like, da-da-da-da-da. My buddy comes in from out of town and goes, dude, I don't mean to call you. Can you come get me? I'm at John Wayne Airport. So that's in Costa Mesa. It's about 45 minutes from where I'm at. So I'm like, yeah, no problem, dude. I go literally, it's like 9:30 at night, PM out. I leave, come back with him, and me and him the whole time, man. You gotta love how God works. He goes, dude, I heard you got that Panigale. Dude, what color did you get? And I'm telling him the color. I'm telling him the helmet I bought just for the bike. I'm telling him everything I've done to the bike, literally. And we pull up, and he goes, where is it? And I go, where is it? What are you talking about? I pulled right in front of my parking stall, and he's like, yeah, where is it? I'm like, dude, bro. And he goes, no way. And I'm like, yeah, way. I'm calling 911 right now. And I'm literally calling 911. So there's people on the balcony looking at me like, what am I all panicking about? I'm like, dude, did you guys see anything? They're like, oh yeah, we saw a truck pull up and 4 bald cholo guys get out, and 2 guys went to the front too. We thought they were repo dudes. And I said, dude, at the time I had a Skyline GTR. I had a '09. It was used, you know, it's the only one I could afford. And I'm like, dude, I'm like, I drive cars that you should not think my shit gets repoed. Like, you know, but it's funny how people work, man. You know, if you have a shaved head and you're like my skin color, a lot of, especially in the military, they'd be like, oh, you have black, dude? Are you like Cuban? And I'm like, dude, I'm Filipino and white as you could get, man. I mean, I can't even explain that to you any more than what it sounds like. But if your appearance looks a certain way, they assume that, oh, this guy's trouble or he's been in trouble. And these are other guys that are the opposing force that are taking his shit. So I'm like, you guys didn't call or nothing? No, not one neighbor here called, nobody. And all they did was tell me exactly how it happened. You know, and all day I'm like, man, I get it. But anyways, getting to my point with that gap insurance. So my insurance company goes, oh yeah, you got full coverage. We're going to give you a check for $17,200. And I said, $17,200? I'm like, I owe the bank. Like I put like $500 down to buy the bike. I'm like, I owe them $22,000. And they're like, oh, we're sorry about that. So I made payments, the same monthly payment on no bike. The bike is gone. The bike's in Tijuana getting whatever. They're using everything for Craigslist. And I made payments, I swear to you, for a good year. Like one whole year of just payments at like $300 a month. And I was just like, I learned my lesson. I will never buy something with no gap insurance again in my life, dude.
Man, I hate to hear that.
You know, that's just me. But yeah, and then the next bike I bought, I went back down to the good old Japanese bikes that you know, less than 10 grand last you forever as long as you don't wreck it. So
yeah,
I got which I'll be putting a video on that. I have a lot of stuff because I had to swap the swing arm over, and I do a lot of weird stuff, man. So I did a full Öhlins setup on the ZX6R. It's a 2008, but I swapped everything.
Öhlins is actually just down the street from me.
Oh, no way, man. Yeah, they're considered the gods of motorcycle suspension, dude.
Yeah, and I know those guys personally. We did a deal with them, and they were outfitting all the BMWs that we had with Öhlins, and that went over for a little while, and then the powers that be said, well, that's making our stuff look bad. And I'm like, well, it should. It's better, you know?
Yeah, well, because of BMW, right? It's because you're dealing with BMW.
Yeah, because I was with BMW AG in Germany.
Oh,
and I got in with BMW as a professional motorcycle rider, and then about a year later, they brought me in as a professional car driver. So I was with them for 13 years. I mean, traveled everywhere.
Yeah, that's
exhibitions, you name it. So, yeah, I mean, we were doing, we're pretty much every track in the United States and then overseas. Whether you're doing the Ring or you're in Abu Dhabi, it was all over. People don't realize how global that company is, but yeah, that's how I got in with them. But I just got tired of traveling. They took care of us, but man, you're never home.
And the markets are so different too. I mean, a lot of people, if you're into motorcycles, if you're not, well, I'll break it down for you. So everywhere except the USA, motorcycles are a very big thing. They're like NASCAR to us Americans. Like if you go to Europe, their whole thing is MotoGP, World Superbike, and all that stuff. The enduro stuff. You have all the Dakar stuff. You have, I mean, I'm talking, it's a whole other world. And you get to, I think that's just
my specialty. That's my specialty.
Yeah, you do the enduro stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, that's why you're on a new level, man. See, me, I have to have my ground doesn't change. You see, it's just tarmac.
Well, I did that for a while, but if you get really, really good at the enduro stuff, like Dakar and everything else, it makes riding on the street or riding on a track that much easier. It really does, because when you're braking or you're pushing front ends, rear ends, it's nothing. You should know how to handle it at that point, because you're running triple digits in gravel, so yeah, it changes everything. It really does. But it's pretty cool, because I did Weir and CCS way back in the day. And I ran Ducatis, and then I ran the Japanese bikes and everything else. But I always liked the Ducks. Those were good bikes when they were running.
Yeah, when they work.
That's exactly.
You be riding bikes?
I'm a dirt bike guy, or used to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because
I
you're on
actually
the
did a
flip side.
couple little small videos, and I was like, no, this isn't gonna work.
Oh, where he's writing? Where Rick's writing?
Yeah.
Oh, watch out, dude. I was gonna say because I was if I was in Rick's position, just meaning knowing what his profession is, I mean, that would probably mentally almost maybe mess with me. Just because
It
I know that
handicaps
he
you.
gets to see, you know what I mean? You see a crash scene
Yeah,
or
it's your
something.
talent tank. You're trying to make sure your talent tank is always full.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. But
Yeah, I do wanna-
I used to be decent on two wheels, and then I switched to four on quads, and then gave that all up. Basically, I still have a couple quads, but I don't even ride them anymore.
no, I
Yeah,
hear
so
you.
Abigail says, excuse me, trying to decide between the Tika, a Mac 10, a Ruger 1022 takedown, or Nods. Okay, so let's knock the Mac 10 off the list unless you're going to try to go for a fully transferable machine gun, and it's one of the cheapest ways you can get into one. The 1022 takedown is kind of novel. The Nods are cool, and I recommend everybody having a set of Nods because owning the dark is a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
But I think the Tika setup is going to get you the most bang for your buck.
Since I have the Tika, I would do Nods.
You know what? I didn't get to tell you, Rick, that when we were talking about 60 degrees and 70 degrees and 90 degrees right now, when I picked up my rifle, I picked it up today, and he tried to sell me another rifle. He had a rifle put together. It was like I think it was a Masterpiece Arms chassis, but it was a Deviant Elite was the thing, right? Yeah. And he goes, he literally said to me, and he doesn't watch this or nothing, he goes, your action will never feel as smooth as mine. And I go, okay, let me see this, dude. So he whips it out, and he did the whole, like, the Tika thing. He's like, all right, dude, click. And then he just slid it back and forth. He's like this. He's like, you see that bolt? No bind ever. He goes, now yours has to unlock at the top. And he grabs my rifle. I'm literally just paying my balance. You know, I'm sitting here buying a $6,000 rifle. And this guy goes, click. He's like, let me put it in the camera. He goes, he clicks up, and then he goes, click. And there's like an extra unlock, like the cam lock at the very top. And then so I tell him, I'm like, hey, I got this dude I just hung out with where we talk online, this and this. And I'm like, he's about 60 degrees too. And he goes, yeah, his won't feel as smooth as this either. And I go, all right, so what do you suggest? And then he goes, if you want 60 degrees and you don't want to deal with wasting a bunch of money, he goes, does he own an RPR? And I go, yeah, he has a 22. And he goes, no, does he have an RPR? Like an actual, 6.5 RPR. And he goes, those are 60 degree big bolt guns. And I'm like, what the hell's a big bolt? And he's like, well, if you notice a lot of the modern, I guess, you know what, it's even on this. Okay, so here, look, guys. You'll notice that with the Remingtons and stuff, the lugs protrude outside of the body diameter. You'll notice that most of the 60 degrees are made with what they call a big bolt. And all that means is that the lugs are at the same, hold on. Oh, wrong side. So you'll see, if you look close, the lugs don't protrude past the bolt body. It's the same diameter. So it's actually easier and cheaper to machine this. And he says that the Ruger RPRs use the same style bolt. So he was asking, he's like, well, if he has the 22, just tell him to get the big one. And I was like, nah, he's getting, I think, a Curtis or something. He's like, oh, those are nice actions if they'll deal with you. And I was like, I've heard about that type of stuff. And then he's like, no, he was saying that, I think he said he had to source, he built a couple of them through the year, and he said he had to source them directly through Masterpiece Arms. So he had to go get them through Masterpiece Arms, that I guess stocks them they make a certain production rifle that uses it. So they stock it all the time. And that's where he went to get it, I guess, for both of them. And I was like, damn, you're making those things sound like unicorns. And he goes, yeah, they're also a unicorn if the ship breaks or something. You can't get a hold of nobody. So I was like, hey, man, I don't make them. I don't use them. I just transfer information. Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah,
so, but yeah, I'll be honest, man. I love this 60 degree. I don't really mind just because I'm not a little guy. Honestly, if I pull the bolt up, the bolt goes up, dude, and I haven't seen issues where I've heard of people, Typer Snipers, saying that with the 60s, sometimes to unlock it at the very end, it's such a hard a case to unlock that they actually will tilt the whole rifle. So the rifle, instead of it sitting here and you're unlocking the receiver of the bolt,
it turns.
at the end it's so tight that it'll tilt your rifle, so you can't stay on shot almost.
Oh, that's
Hey,
gonna suck.
Ask Rick the real reason why he likes a 60 over a 90. And let me answer. The answer is because he doesn't like that it hits the bill of his cap.
I told him that.
When he cycles the bolt, he's like, I don't like the 90. It
Damn
goes
it,
up too high.
Backwards.
It's too close to the scope.
Dude, I know what I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna invent the 90 degree, 90 degree,
What?
but I'm gonna bend the shit down out of that handle. So there ain't no way it hits your hat. There's no way it's gonna hit the scope. Nothing.
It's
You
going to
know what
wrap
I'm saying?
underneath the rifle, the chassis.
Yeah, so instead of it, see how mine is bent like to the side. I'm gonna have yours literally bent like that. You see it?
Maybe you can just find me a semi-auto bolt gun.
Hey, new invention right there. We're gonna make the extension, the Rick extension, dude.
There you go.
Either that, or I'm
The
just gonna
Ricky
tell you when I see
extension.
you put your hat backwards when we shoot.
I do sometimes.
Oh yeah, there, solved. See, 60 degree, 90 degree. You see right there, you're at 60 degree hat. Now if you put it backward, you go on 90 degree hat.
See, I have the Tika is a 70-degree two lug, and the thing is smooth
Yeah.
as shit.
Well, there's guys that I'll see at the range that'll have Tikas that are custom built. So they'll go buy like a Tika T3, a T3X Lite or whatever, like the hunting one.
Yeah,
and
that
everything
was an option.
swapped out. Yeah, I mean they got the barrel. The only problem is with the Tika is the what I was told by a gentleman is that the base of that action is like an inch, and most of the blanks that you get, like a barrel blank, are like a 1 1/4 at the chamber. So I guess what they either have to do is you either have to get a smaller diameter blank, or you have to machine flats to match the action. But you still
man.
thinking about that custom knob right there?
Cut this off right here.
Yeah, it'll be like those caps they market that have the insets so you can wear your
for
Oakley
glasses.
glasses and they don't hit on the bill.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna
It's
call
gonna
it.
look like a duck with a broken bill. It's all like
Yeah.
a big chip missing out. You're like, what's this for? Oh, this is so I can take a shot and not hit the bolt right here.
I'm gonna call it the 90-degree. It's gonna be like a halfer, like that.
Well, we're not gonna be able to invent it because David Tubb probably already made that shit. Have you guys, hey, here, let's talk about everybody who's watching this. Have you guys seen his video on 2-hole ammo?
2-hole ammo?
Yeah, I came across this video. You know when you watch weird shit on YouTube, all of a sudden weird stuff gets recommended, and all of a sudden you're just like, wow, what is this? And I watched a couple of his videos because he has some weird reticle that he invented. And so I was like, what's this reticle? And I'm not even going to go into that reticle. I watched the video. The next day, another video comes up and it says, David Tubb presents 2-hole ammo. And I'm like, what is this? So I watched the video. This guy had figured out how to make a projectile that's split down the middle. And when it shoots 2 holes into your target.
How far away?
So he's shooting it at least 100 to 200 yards in the video out of a bolt rifle. Then he shoots it in a gas gun. And I'm sitting there going like, are you what? Like, and it was almost like the most cheating way to get a good group. He took 2 shots and had 4 holes. I swear to you. And they were like that. And I'm sitting there like if you watch it, the 2 holes land like here and here in the video at slow motion. But because the 2 other projectiles were launched out, it's all like your group's perfect. I'm like, what the? So I tell my friend, hey, have you seen this video? And he goes, no, I never heard of it. He watched it. Next, he's on every forum telling people, dude, go look at this 2-hole ammo. No one's ever seen it. I feel like I was like, dude, did I just watch something that no one's ever seen? Like, because I didn't even know it was possible. Because it's like the projectile obviously is going down a rifle barrel, so it has to stay together. To that point, it's not like a ball bearings or something.
Yeah, but you think it would fly like shit once it's up.
No, that's what I assume. But when you watch him shoot it, well, it's David Tubb, dude. I mean, dude, he can shoot white box Winchester, bro, and do a 1/2-inch group. So don't even, you don't. I'm not. That's David Tubb, man. He'll make you sound. Dude, just watch his videos, and you just don't even question him because you'll sound stupid. Whatever he says, it sounds right. Even if it's not, it just sounds right. The way he's like so about it. So yeah, man, I watched that video. I was like, what is this 2-hole ammo? It was like turning my gas gun into shotguns and shit. You know? But what's funny about it is there's like 3 videos on it, and not once do they show you a close-up of the projectile or the ammunition. So they don't do like this, oh, here you go, look at the, nothing.
Yeah.
There's no blueprints, no diagrams, no blow-up drawings. It's just him talking about what it does, him loading it, and him firing it, and showing that it leaves
Buddy at
double
the
the hole.
or shooting at the same target.
He's got his son over here. He's like, when I pull, you pull that trigger.
Did the
Hey
whole
guys, I got about
weird?
3% left on this phone, and I don't have a charger. So, but man, this was a great chat, man. I really enjoyed the
Yeah,
time
it's
with
fun.
+5, man.
We got to end this anyways. It's already been 2.5 hours.
It's 11:20 over here.
Yeah, it's like 2:30 in the morning here. So,
Holy shit.
either way, I want to get off of here. It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me, and
good
everybody
one.
else.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining, and I will talk to you guys later.
You
Yeah.
too. Thanks everybody for. Sorry I couldn't read your comments, but have a good night.
Yeah,
See ya.
next time the laptop, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, man. What's funny is my laptop is set up just for artwork and stuff. I've never even used it for like social media. I'm always using my phone and stuff, to tell you the truth. But yeah, I tell you, this was really fun. I'm not even gonna lie. It's
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was
cool.
good.
I can read everyone's chat. Sorry guys, but I will be.
John
Figuring
Jeffrey, Sergeant Devil Dog. Oh, and he's gone. Sergeant Sniper Hunter, Drew Bradley, Eric Keesaw, Abigail, John Townley, Tim Davis. Oh, he's back.
There you go. Sorry, I wanted to say bye, and then I hit the wrong button down here. But
Yeah, I'm just telling everybody goodbye right now. Barry Reading, DW, Eric, and
I hope everybody had a good 4th. I made the best out of it, and no matter what, as you guys see on the news, man, we're about the freest country you're gonna get in this world this day and age. So
that's true. Happy 4th. And remember to bring your charger when you're going to be gone a long time. Damn phone. My watch has been dead for 2 days now. All right, with that said, everybody take care.
all right, guys.
See you on
You
the
guys
next
take
one.
care. Good talking, Rick.
Hold on, don't hit a button.
No, I'm good.
All right.